What's up, everybody? How art we? We're great, man. All right, cool. Hi, Dad. I wasn't talking to you, Sam.
He's like, are we on the internet?
His new favorite thing is to find me in the woods. When I'm back there, it has become his new favorite thing. He gets so excited. He's like, does that like whimper excited thing? Like, I found you. I did good, right, Dad? I'm the best dog. You love me, right?
I know.
What's up, Andy Vetter? Shalom. You're what?
Go shower.
Yeah, go shower. You smell gross. I can smell you from here. Teenagers. What's up, everybody?
Teenagers in the forest.
Yeah, I know. What's up, Alex? Shalom, brother. We have determined, for those that were interested in knowing, what is the life expectancy of a Hewlett-Packard laptop that you keep outside 24/7, 365? It's 2 years.
And not so much like sheltered outside.
No, it's not. It's just on the porch. It's just been on the porch for 2 years, and
not shut, just open.
no, it's just there. It's a workstation, and it's been on the porch for 2 years, and about 2 or 3 days ago, it just gave up the ghost. It just doesn't want to play anymore. I'm like, that's fine, understandable. So I guess the next thing we're gonna see is like, how many 5.56 rounds does it take to destroy a Hewlett-Packard laptop? My guess is 1, but we'll see what 100 does to it.
Accurate.
Have you tried precision rimfire shooting? We shoot rimfire out to 300 yards, which is roughly equivalent to shooting 308 to 1,000 yards. Mass prepper, shalom, brother. Wicked. Mass Prepper's wicked smart. I met Mass Prepper in Roanoke, Virginia. He drove down from Massachusetts to Roanoke, Virginia for class, which is cool. Very cool. What's up, Charles?
I realized it was Massachusetts Prepper, not like
not Mass. Yeah.
He preps so much.
No, it's not.
It's not from the Northeast.
No, it's not like volume divided by weight or like whatever that equation is. It's not that. It's his state. What did that say? Ordered hubby an unafraid teeth. Thank you, Rain Cat. I appreciate that. Now I'm on a live chat. No Krav tonight. I get to play the work game. What's up, Daniel? Or David, rather? I mean, you could do Krav Maga by yourself. Hurt yourself really bad and then throw yourself into the ground over and over again. What's up with Alex? What did he do?
He's complaining about the pink laptop I got him that one time. It's the only one.
Whatever. He wanted a laptop. He got a laptop. I didn't hear any stipulations about the color of the laptop.
It was rose gold.
Is that the one that like all
Shalom,
the
Hans.
got deleted?
Very comfortable. Thank you.
Out of
Andrew
nowhere.
Stanek is here. Krav is fun. I did it for a few years. How do you say Krav in Massachusetts? Krav Maga.
Krav.
Probably like that. Krav.
Oh, there was a whole discussion on Sesame Street one time about log and frog and how they don't rhyme.
Log and frog.
Because in certain dialects, especially near Boston, log and frog do not rhyme.
I would agree with that. There's areas of lag.
frog.
That's true. Lag.
Lag and
Gonna go skid some lags.
Can you imagine the Sesame Street like discussion table? They had like this fight about how like no, it does not rhyme. And you're like, oh yeah, in your world it doesn't rhyme.
What's up, Bobby? Like crab. There you go. What does that say? Lag, frag, dag. What's up, Vicast? Arkansas living. Now there's a guy right there. I've got a Krav Maga hat. That's cool. Beard is looking superb. Way better than mine. Thank you. I worked very hard on it.
It's getting long. It's about time for you to cut it all off again.
Springtime or so.
Yeah.
I love it how everybody's like, oh my gosh, Bear, did you cut your beard? It grows back.
I know, it grows back really
yeah,
fast.
like really fast. It grows back really fast. Krav Maga is Hebrew for
Meanwhile,
contact
today,
combat.
still trying
Is
to-
that Torah? Yes. You should really read the book of Jasher if you're into Hebrew combat. That's all Jasher is. It's the book of heroes. You find out there's some amazing stories in Jasher. There'd be people be getting smoked everywhere. Like, for example, Just reading this morning. Not only so, in Genesis, the sons of Jacob go to Shechem because Jacob's daughter Dinah gets raped by the prince of Shechem. And, if you read the Apocrypha, right? Dude, Simeon and Levi smoked 685 dudes by their lonesome. 685 of them. And then, I was just reading this morning, that was not the last time they were in Shechem. Esau, Jacob's brother, gets all pissy for the final time, and he raises an army of 4,000 dudes and comes against Jacob in Hebron at the Tower of Abraham. And Jacob sees him coming, and he's like, "Oh man, really?" And so there he yells out of the tower, says, "Esau, are we really going to do this?" He goes, "We're going to do this." He's like, "All right, have at it." And so Judah tells Jacob, his daddy, he says, "Yo, you're good with a bow, just shoot him." And so Jacob shoots Esau with a bow, an arrow, cross body, and kills him dead, starts taking out other people. And remember, he's got 12 sons, right? And so like 2 or 3 of them go out to the north, 2 or 3 of them go out to the west, 2 or 3 of them go out to the south, 2 or 3 of them go out to the east against 4,000 dudes and just wreck house. And I'm like, that's badass. Yeah, and so Hebrew contact, for sure, man. They're like, highly recommended. That's why the whole like, well, it says in the Bible, thou shalt not kill. It's like, you should really read that book. It says thou shalt not murder. Murder is a heart condition. It doesn't say shit about killing people who need it. In fact, there's a whole bunch of Torahs for killing people who need it.
There's a whole bunch of killing in the Bible.
There's a ton of killing in the Bible. Yah himself is like, if y'all don't behave, I will smoke your ass. So, and then he did a bunch. So, oh man. MJ, if you're talking shit, you need to just go ahead and leave.
And Bobby, we're working on trying to get an app for that.
Bobby's getting an app? What does Bobby need an app for?
A girlfriend.
Bobby needs a girlfriend?
Yeah.
BCK mission statement. There you go. Story time with Bear. Murder can be accomplished with the mouth. Words matter. I agree. There's a Hebrew directive for that. It's called Lashon Hara, which means do not speak negative, right? If life and death is in the power of the word, how much more so everything else? Speaking of course, I talk to myself. Sometimes I need expert advice.
I totally agree with that one.
What's up, following Yeshua? There were people getting smoked all throughout the Bible. That's correct. Read Revelation. Revelation 19. There's 19, 20, and then 21. 21 is the last book in the Bible. And up until Revelation 19, people be getting smoked. Okay? So literally from the first book of the Bible, so Genesis 1 is creation, Genesis 2 is Adam and Eve. Genesis 3, we see Cain and Abel. Okay? So from Genesis 3 to Revelation 19, all but 3 chapters in the entire 66 canonical books, people be getting smoked. Okay? Yes, that's right, Dragon Slayer. Really smoked in Revelation 19. That's a big one. Shalom, House of Stump, says Fallen Yeshua. That's awesome. Have you read all the hidden books of the Bible? Let's see. What am I within arm's reach of right now?
Are there hidden ones?
I've yet to go to Qumran and dig up my own scrolls. One day. I have here the complete Apocrypha. This is what's within arm's reach of me, which is why I love it when people want to argue the word with me. I'm like, I'm not saying I'm somebody. I'm just saying, if you can't even find time to read your Bible, let alone everything else, shut up. The complete Apocrypha, the Gnostic Scriptures, the lost books of the Bible. What else have we here? Some notepads, because I'm a note taker. Let's see, what is that? And then an interlinear Bible. To say nothing of the complete Jewish Bible, the Chumash or Shumash, the Scriptures, the Sefer, the King James, the New King James, the NIV, the Message. What other translations do I have? I have 14 translations now at this point.
So you're saying we need a bookshelf on the porch?
No, I just need... I do need a bookshelf on the porch. But I like books, man. I like books. The Book of Enoch, a lost book. Yes, First Enoch. First Enoch is, there's a lot of historical evidence and multiple whole or partial scrolls, texts of First Enoch. Second and Third Enoch were very clearly written later in the style of Enoch. So, and they're very Gnostic in the way that they're written. They're probably written 600 to 800 AD. So, what's up, Chet? I have it translated into Lakota Sioux. That's awesome. Everybody, it's like a family reunion up in here.
I saw Dustin Pribble on there too.
Yeah, Dustin's on.
Dustin's on? Dustin Pribble?
Yep.
Didn't I just get an email from Dustin Pribble?
Yeah, we got an email immediately. He's like, I think I won something.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I recognize that name. What's up, Dustin? What's up, Dustin?
We just need some training dates.
Yep. So somebody asked, oh, no, they were saying, yeah, First Enoch versus Second and Third Enoch. That's what I like about this book right here, The Lost Books of the Bible, Great Rejected Texts by Joseph B. Lumpkin. By the way, I don't know what I was thinking, but I set this on the stone fire ring down at the gazebo, which was warm, which then melted all the glue that holds this book together. So it is not held together. See when I do that? See the spine? It's not held together anymore. So I did order some super glue from Bezos' fifth yacht to put it back together again. But it's one of the things that I like about this book a lot is that the author does a really good job of introing each one of the non-canonical texts that is in here with the historical background and the evidence for the validity of each one of the texts that's in here. And I appreciate the intellectual honesty of that. So, latest refuge medical order set to arrive next Monday. Can't wait. Awesome. Thank you very much. Who said that? Ryan Hart. Sister Renee said, we got a bunch out today. Awesome. What's up, Logan Matthias? That's my bro. Met him in Fayetteville. I don't remember where he's from, but I met him in Fayetteville. Yes, the cat is around here somewhere. Not one more inch. I was watching a review of the Condor modular chess set you did 3 years ago. How has it held up? I'm getting ready to buy 5 for my tribe. It has held up great to the point that I have bought more for my tribe. I love it. The only thing I could say that I don't necessarily care for with it is if you were going to be one of those people that runs a slick plate carrier and then puts a chest rig over it, where like some people, and I think it's a good thing to do if you're into this, depending on what the specific threat level is, they'll wear a chest rig if they don't need armor. If they do need armor, they will wear a slick carrier and then put the chest rig over the top of it. The modular chest set has bulky shoulder straps, and so when you combine that with the shoulder straps of a plate carrier, it gets even more bulky. And then if you decided, oh, I'm also going to carry a rucksack, forget it. You're going to have like Madonna shoulder pads up here. It's going to be rough. So I don't like it for that, but as a standalone chest rig, I like it a lot. The original that I have is held up wonderful, except for that one buckle that broke, which I fixed with paracord because, you know, prepper stuff. And I have ordered several more since then. Yeah. Good talk. Good talk.
Always is.
Always.
Be like, what's the weather? I was like,
What's up, Sanctified Supply Co? The Pharisee makes a prominent display of the books he has purchased.
Interesting.
Hey, Jane Smith, hide user from channel. Also, Jane Smith, shut the F up.
I said you should see my books, Jane.
Right? I like books. It's interesting to call me a Pharisee. Whatever. There were Pharisees. Oh, let's go there. There were many Pharisees because there were 4 tribes, or not tribes, there were 4 sects of belief, generally speaking, that were operating in and around Jerusalem at the time. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Essenes, and the Zealots. The Pharisees were like the rabbis and the blue collars. The Sadducees were the upper crust, and they were Hellenists. They were in bed with the Roman occupation. And the Zealots were like straight up murderers. They were terrorists. Basically, they used violence to further their cause. Barabbas, who Pontius Pilate tried to offer in place of Yeshua. Before Yeshua was crucified, Barabbas was a zealot. And then there were the Essenes. John the Baptist, for example, was an Essene. They were the people that lived out in the middle of nowhere. They're like, those cities and towns be all jacked up. I don't want any part of that. I'm going to go live out in the woods and read my word. So if anything, if we're going to go with anything, I'd probably be more of an Essene than a Pharisee. Although even that, if you attempt to use that as a rebuke, there were multiple Pharisees who were believer in Messiah. So all that to say, kiss my ass. Let's see. Any promo codes for Refuge Medical? I'm about to order an SOB and a bucket. Patriot Grease Monkey. Very cool. If you're on Patreon, there's promo codes 24/7, 365 on Patreon for the patrons. Do we have any other active right now?
For YouTube, Bear Nation.
You can use Bear Nation for free shipping. There you go. And that's not nothing on a bucket.
That's not nothing on a
That'd save you $20 right there. So. Familiarized the bucket today. Looks great. Thanks. Thank you, Scott. I love it how it's interesting how you collect your own troop of trolls. You know? It's like, you sorry sacks of shit don't have anything better to do.
They obviously are fans because they know exactly what to say to piss you off.
Right? They're like,
seconds.
you know what
They know exactly.
I just find it sad. It's like, you worthless pieces of garbage. Like, don't you have something better to do? See, Gary Vee talks about this. There's two ways to have the tallest building in the city. The first is to build your building as high as you can to the best possible standards that you can. The other way is to tear down everybody else's building. And clearly you are shit builders, so you go about tearing everybody else down. Danny O'Keefe, praise Yah on finally making things happen for Grindstone and Caleb House. May his will be done, and may both of them prosper beyond measure. Thank you, Donnie O'Keefe. I appreciate that very much. Just talked about this morning, Coffee Time with Bear, talked about some further progress with Caleb House. So, J Dogak, what's up, man?
Oh, so you asked what's your
Thank you,
preference
Isaac.
plan to store cigars. I was thinking
I
they get smoked way too fast. To
I have a stash.
It rotates often.
Yes, it's
in a
we
good
probably
rotation.
rotate the cigar stash more than the
Can
working
you bury a
pantry.
humidor?
Sure. So I just take buckets and I fill them full of those Bovita packets and just smash cigars in them and bury them underground. Yep, that's my plan.
Food bucket idea.
What's up, Canuck?
Cigar
Looking
bucket.
for a cigar bucket. I think like that moves us into a different bracket with the ATF, but you know.
Sure.
Are you looking for volunteers for Caleb House? Not yet. I will let you know when we are, but I will also be frank with you. You will undergo a background check, and you will have to provide certain bona fides because of the nature of the work that we'll be doing. Not anybody is just going to walk up onto the property for Caleb House. It is controlled information. And so specifically, people that we have already worked with on other deployments and other jobs that we know are going to be at the top of that list. And then even those people, because it's DHS regulated, those people are going to go through background checks in order to be involved. Okay? Thank you, Travis Martin. Added GSM to my Smile donation. My wife's shopping habits might fund the whole project. Well, I appreciate that. Tell your wife I said thank you.
Yes, the adventure kit is my favorite kit.
So, Seth, it depends on what you're doing. I love the adventure kit for being out in the woods. It's a great vehicle kit. It's a great like kayaking, canoeing kit, 4x4, four-wheeling kit, or side-by-side, or quad, or whatever. If you're gonna carry it, it's probably a little bit too much. If you're gonna carry it, I would get a Bear Fac and a Boo Boo kit.
You molly it to your backpack.
Yeah, but you can.
We've mollied it to a stomp bag before.
I have been known to molly an adventure kit to a stomp bag because
Somebody said, "Can it be
I'm
done?"
me and I own the company. So, Is there a link to donate to Caleb House, please? Somebody, one of the blue wrenches will have to grab that, but yes, there is. It's at grindstoneministries.com. So,
We were thinking about doing that as an add-on to the stomp bag.
what's up, Billy Hill? You think people would buy?
Venture
People
kit
love them
is
add-ons.
your
They
add-on
love
to your
to put
stomp
an
bag.
add-on.
And we will molly it before we ship it out.
What is Caleb House? Mary Beth, Caleb House is our restoration facility for juvenile trafficking survivors. It is a place to take kids who have been sold as products for sex after we rescue them from cartels and evil people. It's a place to take them to meet their physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and educational needs so that they can grow up into good human beings, not bad human beings. That's what it is.
Yeah, and for people to understand, you donate to Grindstone to help build Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
Because Grindstone's building Caleb. So they're still donating to Caleb if they're donating to Grindstone.
That's a good point. So Grindstone is our other not-for-profit, and Grindstone is a construction ministry. And so Grindstone will be building Caleb House and then turning Caleb House over to the director of operations, the physical property over to the director of operations for Caleb House. So they are separate entities, but when you donate to Grindstone Ministries, that is to build Caleb House. I hope that makes sense. How many knives do you carry? Depends on the day. Typically speaking, a folder, sometimes a folder and a straight blade, depending on what I'm doing. So, but like,
Told Bo how interesting it was from a year ago. This morning he had to like pocket dump to go into the doctor's office, and he was like, I feel so naked about my gun and my knife and all these things. And I was like, a year ago you were just carrying a cell phone and a wallet.
oh yeah,
Years
when
ago.
we went into that concert the other night,
Oh yeah, we were.
gosh, I felt naked as hell. So right here, sitting next to me, Ontario Knife Company, Rat 3, or I'm sorry, Rat 5. I love. What's up, Preston? I love this knife. Why are you big on corn for food storage? 1,600 calories per pound. How's that for an answer? How good are you at growing potatoes? If the answer is not very, buy some friggin' corn. I love the Ontario Knife Company Rat 5. I love this knife, and
So
it's.
they put corn in everything.
I use it a lot for butchering, primarily for butchering. I love the shape of the blade for butchering. It's phenomenal. And it's about my go-to fixed blade right now. But is there a meaning to the name of Caleb House? Yes, we'll discuss that in a moment. And this is the Ontario Knife Company Rat 1 folder, and it's my EDC knife. Caleb House. So much so that I've got two knives. One for each of ya. The same one. Ontario Knife Company, Rat 3. Or Rat 1. This is the Rat 1 folder.
Should have Tommy get together with that.
So, Caleb House. The meaning behind it is, not one more inch. Thank you. So I was going to run a slick carry with a chest rig over the top. We'd go with the contour chest rig, another chest rig you would recommend. Oh, gosh. They have one called the Recon, the Condor Recon, that has less obtrusive shoulder straps. You'd also be well served with anything from SOE Tactical Gear. There's another company, Swamp Fox. They make excellent stuff. Cody at Sojourn Gear makes excellent stuff. So, yeah. What do you think about the threat to Russia? I think I discussed it for 25 minutes this morning on Patreon. Caleb House. Caleb in the book of Joshua, the 6th book in the Bible. Caleb is one of two men that were present at the Exodus. 603,550 military-aged males left Egypt, and two of them made it into the Promised Land. One was Joshua, and one was Caleb. And Caleb is 80 years old when they go into the Promised Land. He's one of the 12 spies when he's 40 years old that spies out the Promised Land, and he's one of the two that gives a good report. Joshua and Caleb give good reports. The other 10 don't. Well, they get back to the Promised Land. He's 80 years old, and they go in, and they take the Promised Land by force, which was not a quick, easy thing it was 5 years of open warfare in the land. And then at 85 years old, Caleb says, I want Hebron, which is a mountain. It's also the first mountain that Abraham builds an altar to God, Yahuwah or Elohim, at. And it is where Jacob has his vision, Jacob's ladder. And the cornerstone of the temple that was built there when David collected the materials and Solomon built it was the rock that Jacob used as a pillow. It's a very important place. So Caleb decides, I want Hebron. And Joshua says, you can have Hebron if you can take it, but there's 3 giants up there. And Caleb, at 85 years old, says, I am as good today as I was when Moses tapped us on the shoulder to spy out the land. I'm going to go up there and take it. And Joshua says, if you can take it, you can have it. And so the spirit of Caleb is one of slaughtering giants in the promised land. And that's why I chose the name Caleb House, because Caleb was truthful, he was righteous, and he was tenacious, and he was unafraid of anything. He didn't give a shit. 3 giants, no problem. Boys, grab your axes, we're going to work. So, that's why. MJ, I don't like you. Peace, homie. I've jumped into stocking up buckwheat and corn. Put corn on standby. Buckwheat is the real superfood, tasty too. Go for it.
Buckwheat's good because it's gluten-free.
Yeah.
But it's expensive.
I was just gonna say, if you can,
Oats are good, but they're expensive.
if you can get it, go for it. But that's the thing. Even right now, a 50-pound sack of corn is $8.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the whole thing. That's why we say corn, wheat, rice, and beans.
Right.
It's cheap. If you love oats, store oats. If you love potatoes, store
It's
potatoes.
Like, basics. Not everything I say needs to be treated as gospel.
If you can afford more, go for it.
Exactly, go for it. Hopefully, what I say gives you enough information for you to start doing, so that you determine what works for you. It is not join the birds. Thanks, Hans. It is not my job, I think, to provide every little bit of tactical level intelligence you need in order to be prepared. More so, it's to build a good foundation for you to get prepared and then light a fire under your ass so that you can start doing the things, learn from doing it, and then adjust on the fly, pivot in the direction that you need to go. Any thoughts on sorghum? It's delicious, molasses, and it makes great fodder as well.
It smells really good when I'm cooking it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another thing people
Great
need to realize that
fodder.
prepped food only gets you to the point that you can spin up agriculture. It's not meant to
Yeah.
get you forever.
Well, that's it. See, and that's the other thing. It depends on what you're prepping for. My biggest thing is systemic collapse. That's what I'm most concerned about. So,
I like things that their corn makes whiskey.
yeah, corn makes whiskey as well. That's right.
I mean, if all else fails, make it
Turkey bacon as good as pork? No.
No.
Beef bacon will make you forget you ever enjoyed eating swine.
But turkey bacon is nasty.
Wintac ATAC. Good stuff. Good stuff. ATAC. Big trafficking rescue here less than a month ago. At least 49 lives saved. That's awesome, Carrie Beard. Void Pilgrim, what's going on? Planned collapse me. I will not plan collapse you, mothers, brothers. Just finished. They go by so fast. Beef bacon is the best. Beef bacon is meat candy. That's right. That's why you're big on corn then. Sherm figured it out. Sherm, you caught me. You caught me. Sherm knows what's up. Well, in front of these 591 witnesses, yes, Sherm, that's why I'm big on corn. That's also why I stock sugar and yeast. It's predominantly for the whiskey production. And it's why I tell all of y'all in the Bear Nation to stack corn as well, is because I want to make sure that we have this. And it's the whole idea behind the Sanctified Industries as well, the nationwide network, is just to make sure that I can selfishly stay in whiskey during the apocalypse. You caught me. You caught me. So, William Sanford says, I got to call BS on beef bacon. Well, try some.
You never had J. John. Actually,
You're right.
the store-bought stuff is just as good. J. John's
Yeah.
is just insane.
Well, the reason J. John's is so good is because he made it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like So you can buy a really good apple pie at the store, but when grandma makes one,
Yeah.
it's like, it's awesome, you know? I'm vegan. Well, I hope that you recover.
I hope that you live to many more generations.
Gosh, I can't read the comments.
Where do you get beef bacon? Most butchers can get it for you. A lot of stores have it.
Yeah, it's special order. Most butchers can get
Google
it.
it.
Asymmetrical preparedness. What's up?
Or go to Jay John's channel and see how he makes it.
Yeah, he's got his recipe on there.
Jay John's beef bacon will make you fight someone. Well,
Make your
Dudley,
children.
also understand, Dudley, you have a propensity for fighting people. So,
What doesn't make Jay John fight
right?
someone?
Dudley's like, I woke up today. I'm going to fight someone.
There's no coffee. Fight someone.
Darren Davis, awesome, man.
Is-
Winco does carry. What's up, Okies? Boss Shalom, sister.
So, is it a requirement in Torah to baptize? Can you baptize yourself?
You can baptize yourself. Is it a requirement in Torah to be baptized? All right, can of worms time. So baptism existed before Yeshua was Yeshua, if that makes sense. Okay.
People don't realize that. You're like, he walked up on him doing it.
Well, right. So John the Baptist was baptizing people in the Jordan River before Yeshua was anointed as the Mashiach, as Messiah. Okay, before Jesus became the Christ. In fact, if you carefully read the Gospel of John, Yeshua says to John, Yochanan, he says, hey, you baptize me. And John says, what, are you crazy? I'm not fit to baptize you. I'm not fit to unlatch your sandal strap. You baptize me. And Yeshua says to John, negative. You baptize me. John baptizes Jesus to fulfill all righteousness. And for a long time, I kind of stumbled at that. I'm like, what does that even mean? And then you realize, if you carefully read the Gospel of John, that John was told by God, to go to the Jordan River to baptize, to find the Mashiach, to find Messiah. So he's down there baptizing people, looking for Messiah. And that's why he like flips his lid when he's like, behold the Lamb of God. He's like, yes, finally. Like, I don't got to keep dunking people in this river anymore, right? And so he's overcome with the, John the Baptist was a wonderful nut. Yes, he was in a scene. Camel hair, honey eating, locust munching. Like, he was in a scene. He was one of us. And so that's what Yeshua means, to fulfill all righteousness. And so baptism, as we understand it in Christianity, was taking place before Jesus was anointed as the Christ. Now, additionally, you have to understand, where does baptism come from? It's called a mikvah. It's a ritual cleansing. And if you read the Torah, which is it's just a word for the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, everywhere it says be cleansed, that's what it's talking about. Go baptize yourself. And so, can you baptize yourself? Yes, you can. In fact, I think that if you were baptized as a child without understanding what it means to be baptized in the name of Yeshua, in the name of Jesus, then you should be baptized again, because what you're doing is, it's the symbolic death and resurrection of you dying to your old self and being resurrected by the blood of Messiah. So, but yeah, baptism was a thing before Yeshua was the Mashiach, before Jesus was anointed as the Christ. I was as a child and an adult. That's awesome. Me too. I was rebaptized 6 years ago in the Sunday Christian church. So what's up, NWA Prepper? I love you, bro. I hope everything's going well in your world. Best solar generator set up under $1,500. I'll tell you right now, you're going to be seeing a video on the Jackery 1000. I have it set up for testing and evaluation currently. It has been getting rained on. It has got blown over twice by the wind because I got lazy and didn't use the kickstands. The dog ran over it. I've had it back in the woods. It works great. It honestly works great. Works great. The next thing I want to see is, I've yet to do the calculations, but I want to see if I can run my well pump on it. I don't think that I can, but I want to see if I can run my well pump on it. Just to try. Just just to give it a shot. Bear, should solar generators be an important part of a prep? We have one in one another. They cost so much. What's up, Romans 12:18? Shalom, brother. Gosh, it depends. It depends on how much electricity you need and how vital that electricity is. Being completely honest with you, the number one thing I need energy for, electricity for here, it's not heating, it's not HVAC, it's not even refrigeration, although all those things are important. It's to get water out of the ground. And I have other ways, multiple other ways of getting water, but the easiest way to get it for me is to just get it out of the ground, because that's where the well is, and it's already plumbed and already wired, and it's easy, right? And so if there's a way to perpetuate that easy, I want in on that. But for you, you know, a lot of people are like, well, my insert relative here is on oxygen. What do I do? Have a way to, you know, get an oxygen concentrator and a way to power it. Or what happens if the power goes out and my insulin is, you know, goes bad? Okay, we at a minimum need a small refrigerator that's dedicated for insulin and a way to power that small fridge, right? And so we got to understand that preparedness, what we're doing, at least what we do here at this channel, not fear-mongering and getting everybody bent around the edges about the 17th letter and the global cabal and did you see what China did, like all that horse shit. What we're doing is we're foreseeing potential problems and we're mitigating the impact of those problems by taking action now. Okay, and so if you have problems that need to be solved, or the best way that they're solved is by the successful flow of electrons, then it is more important for you to maintain the successful flow of electrons than it is for me, because I don't have those particular challenges. I don't have those particular problems. Thank you, Carrie Stennett. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So how important is backup power? Depends. And I mean, we're going into winter, right? Everybody's been, it's going to be a long, dark winter. Cool. Maybe it is. Or are we going to freak out about it? I don't know. Probably not. I'm going to make more firewood and we're going to snuggle for warmth. I have more sleeping bags than I have people by at least a factor of 2, maybe a factor of 3. Yeah, y'all got a bunch of blankets too, right?
Oh,
like,
just sleeping bags, because we upgraded from the...
right.
So we had ones, and then we upgraded, and then, so, yeah.
And you know what I noticed too about sleeping bags? Like, maybe this was a bad dad moment for me, but for the last 20 years, I've had a badass sleeping bag. My kids' sleeping bags have always been trash.
Like the cartoon
Yeah,
ones.
it has like 3/8 of an inch of insulation in it, you know, and I'm like...
It's got that cool design on the outside, though.
Right? Yeah, it does. What's up, Rex? Yeah, it's got like a race car on it or something, you know, it's like... They're going to freeze to death, you know? And so as my kids have grown, I've gotten them good sleeping bags as well. But any recommendations for a wood-burning stove? Not on a particular brand, but as a general way of life, yes, I recommend it. Donnie O'Keefe, I've been trying to find land in eastern Oklahoma for relocation from California and can't find a home on 30 acres for under $300,000. Depends on where you're looking. Now, I will also tell you this, bro, for what we paid for this land 4 years ago, I couldn't buy a 2-acre lot with a cabin on it. Well, in fact, I know a guy that's selling 5-acre lots with cabins on it for what we paid for this piece of land 4 years ago.
It's the with a home that's the issue. If you can go and find an alternative housing.
Can y'all hear Sister Renee over there? I just want to, I love the commentary. I just want to make sure that they can hear you.
I can talk louder.
Yes, they can hear you. Okay, good. Awesome. Hey, what's up, Cassie? Times have changed for sure. Yep.
Does Joe have an orange SOB?
Does Joe have an orange SOB? Is the owl on the woodshed? The eagle has flown the coop. What are we talking about here, Fo? I'm
Joe
confused.
said I have all my hunting gear ready for winter.
Oh, yeah.
Not if you don't have one of these. Not if you don't have one of these. Right here. Also, I'd just like to point out, for everybody who's like, hey, nice beard, Bear, if you can't do this with your beard, You're just playing. You don't have a beard if you can't attach morale patches to it, okay? All right. I think, is the orange SOB still on pre-order?
No, we don't.
No? Oh, they're in
Yeah,
stock,
in
huh?
stock, ready to
In
go.
stock, orange SOB for the hunters right here. Weighs a pound, yo. A pound. Bleeding control kit, and you're gonna need one of these. I pray you never need one of these, but if you do need a kit in the woods, this is the kit in the woods you want. Not there's a bunch of really terrible hunter IFAKs, hunter first aid kits. They're a lot like every other first aid kit out there. It's like, it's the perfect kit for XYZ, and you open it up, it's like, well, it's okay, it's got a Band-Aid in it. I'll admit my kit doesn't have a Band-Aid in it. But it has like maybe a pressure bandage, and that's it. Like,
Might have a tampon.
might have a tampon. Oh gosh.
We saw that kid.
Caitlin Wiggins, thank you. We were looking at a kit on Tuesday morning that was like a cheap knockoff of the adventure kit that under bleeding control literally had a tampon in it. I'm like, what?
And Renee starts yelling at the table.
Oh yeah, we there was outrage for when the trees attack. What's up, Dragon Shield? Dragon Shield and I we're like cordially stalking one another. You know, I guess that's how you would call it. Deaf shortage. Yeah, talked about that this morning, homie. On Coffee Time with Bear on Patreon. $5 a month and unadulterated content. I talk about all kinds of stuff there that I don't talk about here on YouTube. Bought 55 gallons for $52. Tax delivered from Walmart last night. That's a good price. Or ish. No more available. Get you some if you can. That's because of the urea shortage. Because apparently here in the United States of America, we can't make piss. We have to import our piss from China and Russia. So, I do have a trauma kit looking into your kits as well. Good job, Joe G. I like that. What's up, Medic Mouse? Shalom, brother. I love it when shofar time. Not yet. Although I do have my EDC shofar right here. Kudu horn, anybody? Half the people on the live stream are like, is he holding a deer antler? What is that thing? Who is this guy? I thought he talked about preparedness. It's Donnie O'Keefe. We blow the shofar when Yah says so, not when I think it's a good idea. Although occasionally, I love it when he does. He's like, hey, blow your shofar. I'm like, excuse me, what? It's Tuesday at 3 o'clock. He's like, blow the shofar. I'm like, okay, got it.
And then
I
other
like to
people
blow mine
around
Friday
start.
night.
Yeah, I
Just got
love
mine
it.
in. I'm pretty good at it too.
I love it when I hear the other shofars going off. It's awesome.
I
I love
message
it.
just see if you can hear me from here.
Oh, I can.
Can you?
Yeah, for sure. I can hear y'all yelling at each other sometimes. I don't like to talk. I don't like to talk about it. I'm
Close
just
the
saying.
window.
I live outside. If I'm not back in the woods, I'm on this porch, right? So, like,
Yeah, you did walk by me like nice lights.
you have a link for the template for your beard. No, I don't even know what that
He
means.
doesn't try.
We shofar battle with our neighbors too. Cassie, that's awesome. The ladies need a coffee time with Hami. I've learned a lot from you, Bear, but sometimes I just need a lady's perspective as well. Cindy P, I totally understand that, and I appreciate that input. I'll tell you this. My wife is as involved with the channel as she wants to be, and I don't want to force her to be involved with it, much like I don't want to force me to be involved with it, because I have learned that if I show up when I don't want to show up, that's worse than me not showing up at all.
And we
Okay.
have women's group.
And we, women's group,
Patreon.
women's
Yeah,
group
women's
Wednesday,
group
every Wednesday night on Patreon.
And back porch bitching every now and then.
Bonjour.
When we'll pop up.
Ever train with a bayonet? Only duct taped to a 300 Win Mag.
See, I don't agree with Mark.
Hami seems like a busy lady. She is. She handles a ton of stuff that y'all don't see. If you were, I mean, we keep saying the P word, but on, what was it, Tuesday night, we did the small business live stream on Patreon. And we were discussing everybody's different roles and responsibilities. And it was like, and Hami does this, and also that, and sometimes this, and usually also this. And occasionally that and this stuff too. Plus,
And it helps sheep give birth.
yeah,
and,
plus
you know,
like animal husbandry and vet time
helping
and
people move right now.
yeah, she's helping people move right now. Like she's a badass woman. So. Which was awesome, by the way, hanging out. Thank you, Hans. I thought that was a good live stream. I enjoyed it. I think it was Sanctified said that it was a very productive episode of that 70s show, and I thought that was awesome because we had the tripod on a Lazy Susan and just kept spinning it around to everybody.
We talked a lot.
Thank you, Medic Mouse.
Words per minute, I think, were really high on
Yes.
the live stream.
Gray Mouse, awesome. Do you prepare offerings and have constructed an altar? No. We observe the Pesach, which is the Passover, and Tabernacles or Sukkot, and Shavuot, Feast of First Fruits, and the Day of Atonement. The Moedim, the appointed times in Leviticus 23. I made a burnt offering one time, the first Shavuot that I was here on property. And it was a very simple thing where I stacked up some stones and I took 2 handfuls of beans because that's all I had out of the garden, a tenth of what I had. And I took those 2 handfuls of beans and a little handful of pine needles and I lit them on fire on top of that little stack of stones. And I got down on my knees and I prayed and I wept like a baby. And it was a very beautiful moment between me and the Creator. But I do not, as a regular portion of my worship, make offerings because the sacrificial system, to the extent that people say the Torah was done away with, there's potentially an argument for that because Yeshua is the high priest, Jesus is the high priest per Hebrews, and the temple is in our hearts. But if you're going to make the argument that all of it went away with, my question would be, why at the very end of the book, Revelation 21, is there a new heaven and a new earth and a new Jerusalem and a new temple where Yeshua is the high priest making the offerings day and night? So, I just talked about this in Hebrews chapter 8. If you're into this kind of stuff, no, I'm not Jewish, Mary Beth. I believe in the entire Bible. I know, sweetheart. I'm not trying to be derogatory. I just get the question all the time. I'm not. I believe in Messiah. I believe that every word in the Bible is true, and I have read it for myself a bunch of times. And I do things that the Jews think are crazy, and I do things that the Christians think are crazy, and I really don't care because I see it as my job to do what Messiah told me to do and what Yah told me to do. So, what's up, Tony John? By the way, the measurements that you've been wanting, Tony John, for the laptop, I can't send them to you because the laptop is dead in the water. So, in fact, I was gonna message you earlier, but I have to replace this laptop, so I can't give you measurements until I get new measurements. Anywho, Jewish. Nope, not Jewish. So burnt offerings, Yeshua's the high priest, man, and the idea that was all done away with. We're reading the book of Hebrews in the weekly Bible study here on YouTube on this channel. And so if you're into that, if you want to know more about that, what's up, Zub Shalom, brother. Zub rocks too. We got so many great people in the chat tonight. You should break out your Bible on Friday evening and Sunday morning and read along with us and come to your own conclusions. Do not take my word for it. Bear, you're going to give us your measurements. No, Eddie, no, I'm not. That'd be weird. If you didn't do things the way you have, I know I'm not the only one who would still be living in sin today. Well, Medic Mouse, bless you, brother. The Father's awesome, man. That's all I can say. To the extent that he sees fit to use this as a conduit for him, I am continuously humbled and amazed. I don't know how many times I've said it, but the fact that he would see fit to go to war for me, to win me back, and then occasionally use me as a mouthpiece is beyond incredible. So, Do you interpret the book of Revelation literally or in parables? So it's a vision, and it's actually heavily based on imagery from Ezekiel and Zechariah, and a bit from Jeremiah, and a bit from Isaiah, and a bit from Daniel. And it's a combination of the two. John is having a vision, and John is trying to explain what he's seeing in the vision the best way that he knows how.
Not one more inch.
Right? What is the worst preparedness advice you have ever received?
Jump your neighbor's fence.
Jump your neighbor's fence and go into their backyard in Texas to steal their water if you don't have any of your own. If you do that in Texas or Oklahoma or many other regions of the world, you're going to get at least one of these, and that's a 135 grain plus P Hornady critical defense round. Bad idea. I also think the concept of an inch bag is oversold. Difference between the SOB IFAC and a Hunter SOB IFAC. The SOB is in like the subdued colors and camo. The Hunter is in orange. That's the same contents, just a different color. That's it. This is the orange Hunter SOB. And let's see. This right here is a woodland camo SOB. They're the same thing. Just different colors. That's it. Contents are exactly the same. So, the arch. What's up, Puzzleman? Is mayonnaise a prepper technique? I don't know what that means. Joe, I appreciate that. I've also followed from the beginning, 2 years, and bear don't flinch. Same guy, never sold out. Not planning on it either, brother. I'll tell you what. I've said it before and I mean it. When the life that I lead because of y'all becomes normal and mundane and I start taking it for granted, I'm out. I'm doing you a disservice at that point, and I'm doing me a disservice at that point. And neither one is more egregious than the other. They're both wrong. And I won't do it. How about the My Medic? I've yet to find somebody that I actually want to give it to. I have it in my barn right now, and it's useless. I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to throw it out because I spent $240 on it, but I don't want to use it because it sucks, and I don't want to give it to anybody else because it sucks. And I don't.
Maybe somebody from Arkansas.
I'll send it to Arkansas Living. That's a good idea. No, I like him. I'm kidding. Your hair looks so luxurious when you have it like that.
I say that all the time.
It's cold, so I put my hair down.
16 years infantry. I am not a woodsman. I would love to see more old world 1800s wilderness survival. Roger that, George. I like the old ways. Pastor Joe Fox at Viking Preparedness refers to, in large part, what we do as neo-pioneering. And I like that because it's the pioneering spirit, but if you can use modern technology to make things easier, I think you should. Send the My Medic to Canadian Prepper. Hemingway, that's a great idea. I think I might do that. Complete with the rat knot tourniquet in it as well. Here you go. Good luck with this. Guys, I've said it 100 times. I do not like Canadian Preppers videos. And I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy because I've reached out to him repeatedly and I've never heard anything back. And I don't blame him if I'm not on his radar, but I do know that I've never had a conversation with the man. Maybe he genuinely means well and at times has put out information that I would consider to be bad information. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I have no idea because I've never discussed it with him. I do know that if you email somebody 13 times and they don't respond, and then for shits and giggles you buy something from their store to get on their radar and they cancel your order, they know who you are. They just don't want to play. And that's fine. If he doesn't want to play, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not.
That video he did about Vice where he purposely was like, "Oh, there's that other channel, but something I don't know. What
I don't
it's
give a
called."
shit, and it's okay. I'm gonna sleep great tonight, regardless of anything that man says or doesn't say. I don't care.
It's trauma porn.
It's trauma porn. That's exactly right.
He's in Canada too, so you jump your fence to your neighbor, they're gonna be like, "Hey, now, please don't do that."
Hey, listen, buddy. Hey, you should probably stay on that side of the fence. You know, I would shoot you, but they took all our guns away. So yeah, whatever.
We don't know who Shofarians are.
What's a who? What? What the hell kind of word is that?
Shofarian. What is that?
Leave the Mason alone. Snake oil salesman. What? Jay John, shalom, brother. Hey, I want you to know, I took your stuff off the trailer today, and I resisted the urge to mow my lawn with your lawnmower. I didn't do it. I wanted to, but I didn't do it because it wasn't mine. And also because the mowing deck wasn't on it. But I was like, this is a sweet ride, man.
I was going to ride it up to the gas station.
I know, Revolver on the Road, I know you say stack to the rafters, but curious, do you think that you personally have more than 1 year of food per person? I can't answer that question without giving away too much OPSEC, but I will tell you this. If I told y'all to do what I do personally when it comes to food storage, every one of you would quit because you'd think it would be unattainable. Okay? Oh, Jay Johns, I appreciate you, bro. I'm just messing with you. A year, I talked about this on Patreon on Tuesday. Coffee Time with Bear Tuesday morning. A year's chump change.
We are good.
What?
We are good.
We are good. We are good.
And still purchasing by pallets.
We are good and still make the freight companies lots of money. I'll just put it to you that way.
We've never been at a loss for, where's a pallet? I need a pallet.
That's exactly. We've never had to hunt down pallets.
No.
Yeah. Just use the 97 of them that are leaned against the barn. Love the Unafraid shirts. I'm going to get one for my wife. Awesome, brother. Hey, just
That's awesome.
shoot me a text with your sizes, man. We'll handle that internally. What is my problem? Tommy Salter, shalom, brother. It's good to see you. Asymmetrical preparedness. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got it.
Not unattainable.
It's here, but-
American.
It's always there.
If you don't have that much food, you need to consider a diet. What's up, Mark Chase? You think Silver Dollar City has a stinky bunker under it? Maybe. I think I'd like to be known as Silver Dollar City after the collapse. That's what I think.
So did J.A. change his name to Urban Outdoorsman?
I don't know.
Just finished training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
No. I'm sure you checked out Archaven. I know PJ has.
I've not been to Arkhaven. I know people who have been to Arkhaven that aren't PJ. Asymmetrical preparedness, you rock. What's can't? There ain't no can't. Bonus points if you can read that in mixed voice. Steal your Dollar City, right? Hold on.
Rockstars?
What's that like, Jeep and Survival?
That's all me. Thank you very much.
You know what that is?
That's just a compliment.
That's
Somebody noticed
money. What's that?
that. They noticed that the U-line bucket box perfectly fits the bucket, so it shows up well.
Pristine condition.
That is, yes, that was very intentional on behalf of the badass admin.
Yeah, if you order anything else, it has to get the second box. It only fits the box.
They dug a super huge hole. Shabba-dabba-da. It goes by so fast. You best be ready for January.
Buy an MUA prepper.
Shalom, brother. I'm not good at putting timelines on things. I can just see the writing on the wall. Magic Prepper was promoting your wound bucket today. World War III must-haves. That's awesome. Magic Prepper makes good content. He's so much more polished than I am. In fact, I told him that. I said, you have such great production quality. Same thing with city prepping.
You're like a cat.
Great production quality. Go lay down,
Rub your
Sam.
face on me.
Like,
He's so lonely.
My mom left.
me. My mom's not here. I'm
The
sad.
whole little,
He's
like,
gonna
pet
die
me,
when she
pet
comes
me.
I know.
Like you're not a cat.
Is the Bear Nation in Utah? Well, we have a Discord and we have a forum at bearindependent.com. So check it out.
They literally, I think the Bear Nation there is part of our Bear Nation in Utah.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Currently, some of the Bear Nation is in Utah for sure.
Some
Go to
bear
Salt Lake
camp,
City.
Literally bear
Yeah.
camp, isn't it?
People I love are in Utah. Hello from Wisconsin. Hello back at ya. Mama Bear reviewed the Boo Boo kit and the wound care bucket today. Awesome. Yeah, I've heard about that as well. So,
Yeah, we were selling military. She loved the military surgical kit that we've sold. I need to place an order yesterday and today.
so here's the thing, and I hope that it speaks for itself, but we don't make garbage kits. We make good kits, and it's not like a good idea that we had, hey, I hope this works. 26 people's lives have been saved with these kits, potentially 28. I'm still working on confirming 27 and 28, and I'm not going to claim them until I know that it's legit, right? So at least 26 people's lives have been saved. Like, they were going to be dead, and then they weren't because of these kits. We know they work. Thank you, Don Fleming. We know they work. Like, they've worked over 24 times. They work. They're made in America, guaranteed forever, exceed military specification. They have the best products and components in them that you can get, and they're competitively priced. Why the hell would you get anything else, man? Like, I don't know how many lives my medic has saved, but that rat tourniquet ain't a rat tourniquet. Like, the stuff that's in that kit is for boo-boos. It's not for bullet holes. It's not for major bleeds. It's not for stuff that's going to threaten your life. It's a boo-boo kit. Cornfed, shalom, brother. I've met Cornfed and his wife as well at training in Dallas, Texas. They drove from Iowa to Dallas to come to class. Imagine that. So, other people, and it's in a way very validating for me because myriad other people are coming to the realization that these kits are the best on the market. They get their hands on them, they check them out, and we tell everybody the same thing. Take these kits, beat the piss out of them, tell me what you like, tell me what you love, tell me what you hate, and give me your honest opinion. Give me your honest feedback. And the honest feedback that we get, Wrangler Star, his job is to review stuff. Bless that brother, he said they're the best kits on the market. They are. So, have you ever coming to Missouri as far as training? We were in Missouri, a few months ago. Mm-hmm. Where did we go? It wasn't Branson. It was Springfield? Springfield. We were in Springfield a few months ago.
We'll be there in the spring.
Yeah.
They're in Wichita.
Yeah, there's a class coming up in Wichita.
That's like right over the border.
Your opinion on issue USMC IFAC. The whole reason I created this is the bare fact, was because the issued USMC IFAC is garbage. This works this way. You pop this open, you grab the red tab, and you pull the inner out of the outer. The current issue, at least as far as I'm aware, stays stuck to your body where you can't use it. Yes, it has a little bungee cord. That sucks. This you can get out and you can open with one hand. The whole point is to be able to use this with one hand. I can grab this red tab right here. See this tab? And shake. And now I have a purpose-built blowout kit right here, built for prioritization of care. I got my tourniquet. I got my wound dressing here. I've got my quick clot for wound packing down here. I've got a Sharpie for drawing inappropriate things on my buddy's face. This, I love this. This is my surgical tape, and it's bound in here so it doesn't run away on me unless I do that with it, and then it comes out. Back here, I've got my stack, which is airway and respiratory. So I've got my shears. I've got two, not one. I've got two hyphen full-size chest seals. One of the things I hate about the Marine Corps IFAC is it's only got one chest seal. Well, bullets go through people, generally speaking, not in people. So you have an in hole and an out hole, entry and exit wound. You also have two lungs, left and right. And so you got two chest seals here. Nasal pharyngeal airway for maintaining a patent airway. 5x9 gauze pads.
You need it.
And your shears, like I said.
Wow.
What's that?
Listen to your burger.
I do need a 3.0, but
You
that's
need to
okay.
Take all your kids to the office and redo them.
I do. And the new 3.0 Bear Fac, which is what's on sale right now, has a burn dressing in it as well. We've upgraded the contents because, again, we have our stuff in the field with real users. Quick clot, rolled gauze, standard. And then down here, you've got your everything else. And so this is,
Mommy's on.
hey, sweetheart, what's up, babe? I love you.
This is you.
I gave him some loving.
And so this has got your everything else, your survival blanket, your compressed gauze, triangle bandage, rolled gauze, 2x2s, 4x4s, 5x9s, fold flat duct tape, your antiseptic wipes. You can add a decompression needle to this for tension pneumothorax, assuming you've been trained and know how to use it. And that's right, Jimmy Carr. And no tampons, because it's a blowout kit. It's designed to work the March algorithm: massive bleeding, airway, respiratory, circulation, head injury, hypothermia, and then everything else, including now burns and eye injuries. The 3.0 also comes with an eye pad and an eye shield, right? And so these kits are on 4 continents with all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces and thousands of law enforcement officers. Dozens of times they've been used to treat non-life-threatening injuries, and 26 times they've been used to actually save a life. And we collect all of that data from real end users, and we only make a new kit, and we only change the kit if we can make the existing better. And so that's what we do. And this is that's the Bear Fac. And so to your question about the USMC IFAC, that's why I created the Bear Fac in the first place, is because I was appalled at the lack of contents in the USMC IFAC. So 26 that I know of, that's exactly right. Thank you, Dragon Shield. Those are the ones that we know of. So Thomas Brantley, send me an email and we'll send you some Sharpies, okay? Pure Blood and Prepping. Thanks again for all you do. Jason in Virginia, number 21. Bless you, brother. I hope your hand is doing all right, homie. Good dude right there. I hope your hand is doing all right. And again, see, he had a major injury to his hand. That's why the kit is designed to be used one-handed, because you may not have that other hand. And he is not the first person who saved his life with our kit that only had the use of one hand.
I know
So-
somebody's asking a joke here about, do you sell tactical rapid deployment cigar humidors? But the answer is actually yes.
Yes, I do. They're on the website. Quick Clot is not as good as combat gauze. That's why they made combat gauze. JB, well, let's
Powder versus
let's unpack that. So the granules are no good at all. Nobody uses granules anymore because they're difficult to get into the wound, and they're even more difficult to debride from the wound afterwards. That's why they came out with hemostatic impregnated gauze. Combat gauze and quick clot rolled gauze are essentially the same product. Ask me how I know. I buy that shit by the pallet. Now, additionally, if we're really going to go down that route, it's a matter of preference, because the Committee on TCCC released a study just about a year ago where they did a side-by-side comparison of clotting times using hemostatic impregnated gauzes, namely combat gauze, and regular, cheap, compressed gauze for wound packing backed by a pressure bandage, and they found zero appreciable difference between combat gauze and $3 compressed gauze. So if you're going to make arguments, let's make sure we're all singing from the same sheet of music here.
Some people don't even realize that, like, Quick Clot is a company.
Yes, Quick Clot is a brand,
And
okay?
they make combat gauze.
And they make the combat gauze. That's
So-
exactly right.
They rebranded it, but it's just.
Which, by the way,
Whoa.
let's have that conversation. Here's an SOB. Let me pop this open. SOB has an inner pouch as well. Watch this. Are we all watching? Watch this. Ta-da. Oh, what do I spy here with my little eye? What's this? Oh, it's combat gauze. Trust me, this is my job. This is what I do. Where can I buy this? Janice Carey, bless you. Refugemedical.com. Refugemedical.com. So, I'm not saying I know everything about this stuff, but I am telling you I take this extremely seriously. True, but went with gauze over quick clot due to internal burns. So that's the other thing to understand is that the early iterations of quick clot and all of those products could cause burns. They don't cause burns anymore because they're now shellfish based. Shellfish doesn't burn people. And people will say, well, what if I have a shellfish allergy and or I keep Leviticus 11 and I only eat kosher? To which I would say, don't eat the quick clot. It's not food. Okay? We trust you, Bear. Thanks, Dragon Shield. I'll stop stalking you, Bear. I don't believe you, Dragon Shield. So,
Now the kits are going out quick too.
what's that?
Quick lead time.
Quick lead time.
Right
Quick
now,
turnaround
yeah.
right now. Yep. Thank you, Bobby. Opinion on guidance on homeschooling. Scary task to take on. However, don't like public school indoctrination current environment.
It's easier than you think.
Why don't, listen, I think you should just put your chair over here for a minute and talk about this.
Tuesday talk.
That would be a good Tuesday.
That would be a very good Tuesday talk.
I can just come say, it's easier than you think.
What's up, Jody Whipple?
It's easier than you think to homeschool. Just do it. And don't, if your kids have been in school for a while, do not immediately grab books and curriculum and buy a whole bunch of stuff. Just bring them home and talk to them and hang out with them and figure out where they are and figure out what they want to learn and go to the library and enjoy yourselves and worry about all the curriculum and crap later. They'll be okay.
Yep. And you've only been doing this for 20 years, so
21?
you don't really
22?
know.
The internet's on my hair now.
I love it.
So does he.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my job to love it. I just think it looks great.
It's unusual. Most people are never see it.
Hey now.
That's homeschool. Montessori
Gracie-
for little kids, yes, but not big kids.
And teach them trade skills. Yep.
Yep.
We should talk about that today. Is not all.
Thank you, not one more inch.
understand How to use a fire extinguisher?
Do you see refuge training ever developing a farms curriculum and starting those type of classes? That's a great question. We have Pistol 1, Pistol 2, Carbine 1, Carbine 2. And depending on who you are and where you are, we can perform that type of training. Comma, we've made it, we've made a conscious decision to, that hair is vivacious. Whoa. We've made a conscious decision to not regularly or openly promote that for a couple of reasons. The first is what we're really known for and what we really do is medical training. And the second is a lot of people that we deeply respect who have been very good to us and or whom we love are already teaching those classes. And so if you want to learn fighting pistol, go to a James Yeager class. If you want to learn carbine, go see Carl at Tactical Rifleman. If you want to learn to shoot long gun, go see Rex, Toborosaurus Rex. If you want to take a women's pistol class, Bellatrix training if you're in the Pacific Northwest, right? We have a network of people that we work with already that are really, really good at that already, and we are capable of teaching that stuff, and we have taught that stuff, and we'll probably teach it again. But in many cases, $10 words are enjoyed around here. But in many cases, there's somebody who's closer to you who can do it as good or better than we can, and that's probably who you need to go see. And go see Clint Smith, go see Reed Hendricks. Like I said, go see James Yeager, go see Carl at Tactical Rifleman, Emery, Instructor Z, Steph and Chris McGanty, Bellatrix Training, Rex. Gosh, Rex. That's all I need to say. Rex. Go see Rex. If you can't shoot when you get there, you will shoot when you leave. The guy shoots beer cans at a mile with a 243 for fun. So, thoughts on Reed Hendricks and Patriot Nurse? I know very little about either of them, other than they both wear the Tzitzit, which is why I want to know more about them. I'd like to hang out with them and just get to know them.
Like they both know their stuff, from what it appears.
Yeah, they both seem very competent in their field, right? And so, but I really don't. That's what I know about them.
Donnie, can a full-time stay-at-home mom homeschool her 3 children under 5 years old and hold a full-time job? You don't need to school anybody under 5 years old. So it's, can she watch and enjoy her 3 children under 5 and hold a full-time job? That depends on how much support she's got and help.
Yep.
Because that's a full-time job, 3 kids
Yeah.
under 5.
Yeah.
It is.
But
And
you
it-
don't need a school to like.
You're right.
Under 5 years old, you just need to play with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Colors.
Same thing you've been doing.
Yeah,
Teach them
it's-
to walk, talk, eat, be nice, don't hit each other, don't bite. You know.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of Les Stroud?
Ways to deflect.
I think Les Stroud is the real deal, man. Without going to vet school, how can one learn first aid and such for livestock and pets? Everyone is teaching human medical stuff, but how about animal stuff? Don, well, I'll tell you, there's 2 ways that we've learned what we know. The first is OTJ, on the job training. You just learn by doing. We have Googled and booked a whole bunch of stuff, and YouTubed a whole bunch of stuff, working with our animals, and you learn from doing. Set broken bones on sheep just from watching a YouTube video, and we have a sheep named Tripod because for a while she only had 3 legs, and you know what? She's fine now. She's perfectly fine now. Praise Yah. Recently had to take a cow to the vet. You learn every time you go. And so the first time is, the first way is you learn from doing. The next is find a veterinarian, especially a rural veterinarian, one that works with livestock, not just cats and dogs. Like I said, the wound bucket saved my dog. Indispensable 100%. Bless you, Joe. That's awesome. Lethal butter knife. We're going to come to that question in a minute. Favorite cigar. Find a rural vet that works with livestock and just start asking questions. Start hanging out with them. Did you give the sheep pain meds for the broken leg? No, we did not. She took it like a champ.
Yes, Phelps is still in the hammock, and yes, he's
Yep.
cold.
Phelps is a man. He is the undisputed world champion of hammocking, as far as I'm concerned.
And he's single.
And he is single. Let's see.
Yes, litter picker. I'm yelling
Throw
at
that out there.
yelling at the chat too.
Let's see.
People want to put like pepper and caustic soda and sugar in wounds. Just carry some
Just put compressed gauze in there.
It's a couple bucks.
It's
Put it in.
$3.
Carry
Just,
caustic soda with you, but not compressed gauze. They're like $1.50.
do you consider wood carving a sin? It doesn't matter what I consider. It matters what the Bible says. If you bow down in worship to something made with hands, yours or anybody else's, yes, it is a sin, and the Father hates it. Go read Haggai and Habakkuk. They're 2 very short. They're each 3 chapters long. And Zephaniah is another one. Zephaniah has 2 chapters in it, maybe just 1. Read them. It's just a few pages. Just read them. Yeah. The Father hates it when people bow down to carved images, molded images. Jesus was a carpenter. There's lots of things you can do. Look at this. See this? What's that made out of? That shit right there is wood. Have I ever worshipped it? Nope, not one time. Also, I think there's very strong evidence that he wasn't a carpenter, that he was a mason. And I don't mean a Freemason, all you conspiracy theorists. I mean a stonemason. Because what it says in the translation, what was translated in the King James as carpenter, is actually rendered in the Aramaic as a master of the craft. And if you've ever been to Israel, there's a lot more freaking rocks than there are trees. And if you look at the parables of Yeshua, a lot of his parables are about rocks and stones and cornerstones. So I can't say definitively, but I think that he worked with stone, not with wood. Either way, it doesn't matter because he didn't worship either of them. So can you make things out of wood? Absolutely. Can you make things out of rocks? Absolutely. Can you worship things made out of rocks and wood? No, the Father hates that shit.
And on that note, carpet knife injuries.
Carpet knife injuries?
What kit would be good for that?
Oh my goodness. You're talking a carpet knife, like a sheep's foot knife. Any of our kits that has a tourniquet and a pressure bandage in it.
Would a boo-boo kit be enough? And I'm like,
No,
an SOB.
no, I want a pressure bandage on that for sure. Yep, SOB.
I mean, you
Even a
could
bare
have a
minimum,
boo-boo kit
SOB.
in your car for later, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, an SOB is definitely.
I just got an email. Got it. Asymmetrical preparedness. I will send this to.
He's like on the wall. He was like, "Let me just start doing business.
Listen, guys.
Everyone else can hold."
Everybody's
He's the
like,
same on camera and in person.
Bear, how do you get so much done? I handle that shit when it comes up.
He is the anti-procrastinator.
I just passed you something. Could you please get with Sanctified Supply Co. on that when you have a moment? Please and thank you. At my cost is fun. See, we've talked about this on Tuesday night on the small business live stream. Like, you don't turn it off. Like it's not like, well, I'll handle that tomorrow after 9 a.m. What's up, sweetheart?
Did I make my fruit thing that I made last night with the frozen fruit?
If is a great poem by Rudyard Kipling. Have you read it?
I don't
If you read if, you read if first, and then write me a synopsis. At least three brief
Never mind.
paragraphs. Then
Three paragraphs.
then brief paragraphs, 3-4 sentences each. Then
Oh,
I shall consider it. No, as long as that funky little blender thing, I don't want to find that crap in the sink. Wash it afterwards. Because I did a damn good job of getting that sink empty. Okay? Agreed?
yeah.
All right. Be gone with you, child.
Why?
Why? I don't know. Why?
What? Did
Why
you
not?
show them the mug you got?
I did. I've been drinking out of it. Of course I talk to myself. Sometimes I need expert advice. Hey, since you're over there.
You want me to put it in the sink?
No. Put a few ice cubes in there, please.
That's cool.
Yeah, like
I thought you were drinking coffee. I was like,
negative.
coffee. It's been 30.
Yeah, it's coffee.
That's coffee.
It's Western coffee.
Thank you. What is the point of a plate carrier? If the most popular rifle in America can easily penetrate, could I go without one? Benefits without, for example. So that's a good question. I've discussed it recently in a video titled I Love Hate This B Word, talking about my plate carrier. I don't run plates unless they're rifle rated plates, by which I mean they will stop 30-06 armor piercing rounds, aka level 4. And if you're talking about 5.56 green tips or 308, then you're right. They will punch right through a level 3. So I don't run level 3. I run level 4. Because if I'm going to take the weight, I need to be able to stop the rounds. Otherwise, we're just playing games at this point. So the benefits to plates that don't stop rifle rounds, I don't see those benefits. In which case, I would not take the plates. I would opt for a lighter kit with a higher level of mobility. So, because everything is a trade-off between firepower and mobility, and we can all thank Lieutenant Colonel, retired, nothing fancy, U.S. Air Force for coining the phrase firepower versus mobility. Give credit where credit is due.
How would you plant row crops on a hill?
Swales. Easy. Swales. How would you plant row crops on a hill? Swales. So look up regenerative agriculture. Give yourself a little bit of grace because you're going to encounter some hippies, and that's okay. They do know how to grow food. And look up swales. Basically, it's terracing. And swales don't necessarily need to be on a hill, but you're talking about terracing. That's what I would do. People do it all over the world. Move fast, be young, get old, get slow, get plates. Yes-ish. I mean, that's the other thing, though. Okay, so if you already have limited mobility, why are we going to decrease that mobility further by making you even heavier? And let's be honest, if you have limited mobility, why are you in a position where you're getting shot at with rifle rounds? This is why you need a team. Pure blood and prepping. Thanks again. My hands moving and working considering my injury. Awesome. I'd like to give testimony someday. Your prayer and gift changed my life. I'm reading the book and doing the things. Praise Yah. Dude, thank you for that. And praise Yah, absolutely. That's awesome, man. What are we all whispering about?
He'd be a good guy to get a men's retreat.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jason, shoot me an email. Shoot me an email. Actually, shoot Foe an email. sales@refugemedical.com.
Get it, an email to us.
And I'll
somewhere.
pass it on to admin at Bear Independent.com.
Bear Independent coupon codes for the store. So you guys can always use promo code Bear Nation, one word, for free shipping on everything. And then on Patreon, there's a standard Patreon code.
We'll have another one soon. We just don't have
Yep.
anything right now. We literally had something Friday.
I had an idea today
Yeah.
that we'll have to run across to.
I mean, we just ran Blowout on Friday, so. Globalists trying to start war with Russia. Thoughts? I talked about that for 25 minutes this morning on Patreon. Thoughts on Southeast Kentucky for an SHTF property? Probably, yes. Population density is the number one motivator, the number one metric for looking at properties as far as SHTF. And then there's a lot of other considerations. They're difficult to. I need to actually sit down and develop a matrix for it because it's something that I inherently understand, which is why people are on the uptick for contacting me regarding consulting right now, because a lot of people are getting desperate right now. You know, they've got righteous men yelling at them for decades on the internet that it's time to move, and then only now are they getting it. That's kind of frustrating. But there's definitely been an uptick in contact for, hey, I need advice on finding a retreat property or a bug out location or relocation or whatever. And there's a lot of considerations. Armor is not because I can run, it's because I can't. No, that's the wrong way to think about it. Armor is for people who put themselves in the line of fire. If you already can't run, then armor is the wrong direction to go. If you can't run, why are you shouldering a rifle? You need people around you that can move and can shoulder rifles so that you don't have to, so that now you don't have to strap on another 25 pounds of gear on top of you to limit your already limited mobility. You're thinking about it all wrong. By the way, let's talk about this. Let's have some real talk because, you know, I'm so good at sugarcoating things anyway. Do you know that the standard Mozambique drill for years, and I think it was Colonel Jeff Cooper that came up with the Mozambique drill.
There's potato.
No, that was the El Presidente drill. Anyway, Mozambique drill. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. That was the standard for what, years? 20, 30, 40 years? 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. That's not the drill anymore. It's 2 to the pelvic girdle, 1 to the head. Because of the proliferation of body armor, professional shooters aren't even aiming at the chest anymore. It's 2 to the pelvic girdle, 1 to the head. Why the pelvic girdle? Really easy. It's a great mechanical stop. You can't go anywhere with a shattered hip socket, and your femoral artery runs in there, and it's a very difficult region to deal with an arterial bleed. And so not only do I have a mechanical stop on one target, I have another potential bad guy tied up and trying to save that guy's life. And so the Mozambique drill is no longer 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. It's 2 to the pelvic girdle, 1 to the head. So if you already can't move, and so because you can't move, you're going to strap on another 25 pounds of plates because you can't move, you are completely missing the point of what the armor is for in the first place. It's to protect your heart and lungs because that's what causes cardiogenic shock, aka your heart stops working. You can't actually pump blood anymore, right? That's what the plates are for.
Put 20 pounds of gauze on to pressure
But
bandage
honestly, it's a complete misunderstanding of the fundamentals of why somebody would wear armor in the first place. If you can't already move, putting 25 more pounds of gear on top of you because you can't move is dead ass wrong. You're thinking in the wrong direction. Fix your PT, run lighter, get better, and understand that people that know the things, your best threats, the most, I wouldn't say they're the most likely threats, but the most probable threats that would make hits on you aren't even aiming for your chest anymore anyway. It's 2 to the pelvic girdle, your hips, your groin, that region, and then 1 to your head. Okay? So, I know, unpopular opinions with bear time, but it is my job, as I see it, to disabuse you of all your prepper fantasies so that you can actually survive. I am now a tank without tracks. Uh-oh, precisely. Well, Granny is still getting plates instead of sitting on the porch without.
If it's gotten to Granny.
If Granny's got to shoulder a rifle, we've done everything wrong.
As if Renee's backing in the trailer.
Mm-hmm. That's right, VitCast. Kevlar kilted his. Oofda. Flustercluck Farms. I love that name every time. Every time. Because I almost say the real every time. Almost gets me every time.
That's why the restaurant Fuddruckers is so popular.
Navel to nuts, right? Bear, do I have the second best hair in the Bear Nation? Hans, you are in the running for sure. You know, I'm trying to think like.
We had a best beard contest one. Do we need to have a best hair contest?
Well, I'm trying to think like who would be it other than him, and I'm drawing a blank.
Most people are shaved pretty.
You realize you're in the lead, right? With the vivacious hair right now. You're like a Suave commercial. ABT does have good hair, but he has like lack of hair. You know what I mean? He's got a good haircut.
Most of our guys are just a pair of clippers. And...
Have you ever watched Monkey Works? I have. Pretty interesting info in regards to military aviation and commercial aviation. Yes, I've watched a considerable amount of Monkey Works at one time. I think he does a good job when he talks about the aviation stuff, the stuff that he knows. Where he lost me, frankly, is when he really got deep into the 17th letter. And then, you know, don't worry, we might have lost the election, but we're going to get it back. And then the January 6th insurrection day and all of that stuff, negative.
The hopium was so...
The hopium. He went way deep into all that. And frankly, I quit watching. And then he has what he calls, he's a firm believer, and I commend him for that. He has what he calls the Monkey Minute, which is like little 5-minute snippets talking about world events in context of Bible prophecy, which I think is great. And he ended one of his videos with shalom, one of those. And so I sent him I sent him an email. I'm not saying he saw it, but I sent him an email and I said, hey, I noticed you said shalom at the end of that video. That's cool. I'm Bear. We should talk. Never got a response, but the next video he did not end in shalom. So I don't know. I may not even be on his radar, and that's okay too. But I genuinely like the guy, and I think he has great information when it comes to transponders and aviation and looking at the aerial and the maritime assets and all of that. I like that from him. The Political commentary doused in hopium, not a fan of. So. Anthony Buckley, I appreciate the customer service and help from your team to get my kids' school new kits. Love the product and your team. Thank you, Anthony. That was probably Fo. Good job, Fo.
Yeah, there aren't that many of us as people think.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. It was great working with you.
Fo says, thank you, Anthony. It was great working with you. And I say, excuse me while I have an itchy armpit. Do you like the Meat Eater show on Netflix? You're assuming that I watch Netflix. Not that I have an ideological or theological issue with Netflix. I just don't watch television.
Did you see the book list over there?
Yeah.
One thing with Anthony, though, is we'd love to get out there and train the schools.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get that set up, we'd love to do that.
Absolutely. We do train schools. That's one of the things that we do with our training division. So it'd be great to do that.
It's hashtag blame Fo, whether it's good or bad.
Kids are in bed and wife wants me to spend some time with her. Void Pilgrim, do what you got to do, man. Hey, if your wife is asking you to spend time with her after the kids are in bed, you're stupid if you don't get off the live stream, all right? Best of luck.
Go make
The
some
owl
lasagna.
is on the woodshed.
Lasagna's in the
No.
oven.
Don't forget to preheat the oven. You got to thaw out that frozen lasagna. You know what I mean? That's right. That's right. Keep it saucy. Keep it saucy. What do you think about S2 Underground? I love that channel. I like S2 Underground a lot. P.S. They just found tapes of known CIA operatives in crowd egging people supplying weapons. Yeah, we know, man. We know it's an inside job. I was saying that live the day of. Was I not?
Bad actors.
Was I not saying that? Mm-hmm. Okay, just checking. That's the thing, right? And so we need to be careful to not get so deep inside of that stuff that we lose the outside perspective. Perspective is huge. You need to be able to emotionally detach from it so that you can logically, mentally process the information that you're receiving. Lots of comments.
When is the bare minimum getting an upgrade?
When is the bare minimum getting an upgrade? The bare minimum 2.0 is out, homie. Who asked that?
Christopher Davis.
Christopher Davis. Check out the website. What do you think of a social democracy government like the ones in Northern Europe? I think that that's part of what the left is pushing for. I don't think it works per se. Much different taxation, different population base, more homogenous citizenry, different social values. I don't want to pay for it. I believe in American ideas, American ideals, American values. I believe that everybody, every single man, woman, and child, I don't care who you are or where you're from or what freaking color you are, every single human being has the right to opportunity, not equality of outcome, right? You have the opportunity to make something of yourself here. Right? America was, for the longest time, the land of opportunity, and it still is. But I think less so, perhaps, than it has been in a very long time. And I don't fear anything, but I have great concern that the greatness of the country is being squandered. And to the extent that people realize it, it'll be realized too late by too few people, and we'll be over the edge. And then whatever comes after what we have now will fail. And then the job of putting it back together again will either fall to us or our children. And I personally do not want my kids responsible for putting this country back together again. I think if that's going to happen, I would prefer it if it happened in my time. so that I have some say over it. I was talking about this on a brief maybe a week ago. It's like there's a train flying down the tracks and the brakes are out and the bridge over the canyon is out. And everybody's arguing about whether or not the train should steer left or should steer right. Or maybe we should get a different conductor for the train. Or if we had fixed the brakes a year ago, then we wouldn't be in this position. Or maybe we could convene a committee of engineers to determine how to deal with the train. And nobody's realizing the train doesn't have any brakes and the bridge is out. The train is going to crash. That's going to happen. And it doesn't mean we don't appreciate the train. And it doesn't mean we don't see the value in having tracks that go across the canyon. But it does mean if we don't get off of the damn train now, we're going to end up in a heap of rubble at the bottom of the canyon. And so that's why the channel's called Bear Independent. I want to be as independent of the broken system of the runaway train as I can possibly be. I will stand next to the tracks as the train whizzes by and lament the fact that that train is going to wreck and lots of innocent people and some not innocent people are going to be destroyed when the train wrecks, knowing that we still need another train. We still need more tracks. We still got to get across the canyon. But the train that we have is screwed. The tracks that we have are broken. The conductor is a liar. The engineers are all assholes. And nobody's done the maintenance on the train or the tracks for a very long time. And it ain't going to get fixed before it wrecks. So that's my analogy for that. I love the United States of America. I just don't understand currently how we fix it. And believe me, I put a lot of thought into this. I have a lot of conversation with people about this. I truly don't believe that politics is going to fix the country anymore. And this is not me advocating for violence. I just don't think that a broken system can fix a broken system. I think that the system is so fundamentally flawed that we need something else. The tracks are out and the brakes on the train don't work. We're past the point of trying to fix the brakes on the train or rebuild the tracks or hire a new conductor. We're just unfortunately going to have to watch it wreck, knowing we got to build another one. And that's why I want as few people as possible, the people that I love, the people that I care about, on that train when it wrecks. That's why I want you guys to be able to stand next to the tracks. And we can all shed a tear when the train goes into the canyon. And we could talk about all the years of our life we spent in service to the train company and all the times that we poured into the train company and voted for a new conductor and tried to hire new engineers and poured our blood, sweat, and tears into the ballast and the railroad ties and replaced the track and greased the bearings and did all this stuff, right? Friggin' train's gonna wreck. That's where I'm at with it.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. And I think, let's be completely honest and intellectually honest here. It's entirely possible, flip side, it's entirely possible. I don't think it's probable, but it's entirely possible that by a miracle of the Creator, the brakes work again. By a miracle of the Creator, we hired the best construction team we can find and we fix the tracks over the canyon. And it's really shaky, but we get across it. It's possible. It's possible life goes on. I don't know that it's probable.
And we end up in California.
My train does not go to California. My train stops in Oklahoma.
Somebody wants to know if you watch Wrangler Star.
I do watch Wrangler Star.
His video about the church. And he left the church and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awesome. We love Randy.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing his awakening.
Yes. That man is going through a spiritual awakening right now, and it's incredible to watch, and I commend him for his honesty regarding that, because it's much easier to experience it yourself and not talk about it than it is to be obedient to the Father when he says, you will talk about this, my son. And believe me, I understand that. I went through that a few years ago. In fact, right over there was a compost pile. And I was walking around the compost pile yelling at God one day because I was incredibly frustrated because I could feel the Spirit was telling me there was something I was supposed to be doing. And I didn't know what it was. And I was telling the Father, as if he didn't already know, hey, I'm a dumbass, and if you don't just tell me what it is, there's 100% chance I'm not going to do it. So I need you to tell me what it is. And he said, read your Bible. And I said, I am. And he said, no, on camera, you idiot. And I said, shit. That is not what I signed up for. And he said, did I stutter? I said, no, sir, you did not. And I started reading my Bible on camera. And if you go watch the Genesis 1:1 video, the trepidation that I had was massive. But it's what he told me to do, so I started doing it. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot to be obedient to that voice sometimes.
Yes, Kevin F. had a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was it hard to take the leap to go to very rural OK from Texas? Did the father
No.
make it crystal clear? I've been trying to ask him to make it clear for my fam to make a rural move.
So, let's see. Was it hard to take the leap to go to very rural Oklahoma from Texas? Did the father make it crystal clear? I've been trying to ask him to make it clear for my fam to make a rural move. Kevin F., here's what I would say to you. The fact that you're asking that question means you already know the answer. You just want me to tell it to you. You know the answer is yes. You just don't like the fact that it's difficult and uncomfortable. The Father already told you yes. Okay? He already told you yes. It just requires a leap of faith for you to do it. It's not faith if it doesn't require something of you to be obedient. Easy doesn't count. Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh. His ass went anyway. Yeshua didn't want to be crucified. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he says, Father, be it your will, let this cup pass from me. This shit is going to suck, and I don't want to do this. But if it's your will, I will do it. You already know. You already know. It's just not easy to do. But don't conflate easy and good. Good is very rarely easy, and easy is very rarely good. Father already told you what to do. Now your job is to be obedient to that. And I'm telling you this from personal experience. If you are not obedient to what he told you to do, it will bite you in the ass. And I mean this sincerely. Right now, stop what you are doing and read Deuteronomy 28. It's a short chapter, but it's incredibly powerful. Read Deuteronomy 28. In fact, we're going to read it together.
Ooh, tread on this. Shalom, tread on this.
What's up, Tread on this?
You're way late to the game.
Deuteronomy 28.
Comes at a good time, though.
And it shall be, if you diligently obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, the Lord your God, to guard to do all his commands, which I command you today, that Yahweh your Elohim, the Lord your God, shall set you high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, if you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. Blessed are you in the city, and blessed are you in the field. Blessed is the fruit of your body and the fruit of your ground and the fruit of your livestock, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flocks. Blessed is your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed are you when you come in, and blessed are you when you go out. And Yahweh causes your enemies who rise against you to be smitten before your face. They come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. Yahweh commands the blessings on you in your storehouses, your preps, people, and into all which you set your hand, and shall bless you in the land, which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. Yahweh does establish you as a set-apart people to himself, and he has sworn to you, if you guard the commands of Yahweh your Elohim and walk in his ways. And all the peoples of the earth shall see that the name of Yahweh is called upon you, and they shall be afraid of you. And Yahweh shall make you to have plenty of what is good, in the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your livestock, and the fruit of your ground, in the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers to give you. Yahweh opens to you his good treasure, the heavens, to give the rain in your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand. And you shall lend to many nations, but you do not borrow. And Yahweh shall make you the head and not the tail, and you shall be only on top and not beneath, if you obey the commands of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you today to guard to do. And do not turn aside from any of the words which I am commanding you today, right or to the left, to go after other mighty ones to serve them. And it shall be, if you do not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to guard to do all his commands and his laws which I command you today, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Cursed are you in the city, and cursed are you in the field. Cursed is your basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed is the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your land, and the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flocks. Cursed are you when you come in, and cursed are you when you go out. Yahweh sends on you the curse, the confusion, and the rebuke in all that you set your hand to do, until you are destroyed and until you perish quickly, because of the evil of your doings by which you have forsaken me. Yahweh makes the plague cling to you until he has consumed you from the land which you are going to possess. Yahweh strikes you with wasting disease and with inflammation and with burning and extreme heat and with the sword and with blight and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. And your heavens which are over your head shall be bronze, and the earth which is under you iron. Yahweh makes the rain of your land powder and dust. From the heavens it comes down on you until you are destroyed. Yahweh causes you to be defeated before your enemies. You go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and you shall become a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth. And your carcasses shall be food for all the birds of the heaven and the beasts of the earth, with no one to frighten them away. Yahweh shall strike you with boils of Mitzrayim, with tumors, the scab, with the itch from which you are unable to be healed. Yahweh shall strike you with madness and blindness and bewilderment of heart. You shall be groping at noon as a blind man gropes in darkness and not prosper in your ways. And you shall be only oppressed and plundered all the days with no one to save you. You become engaged to a wife, but another man does lie with her. You build a house, but do not dwell in it. You plant a vineyard, but do not use its fruit. Your ox is slaughtered before your eyes, but you do not eat of it. Your donkey is violently taken before you, and it is not given back to you. Your sheep are given to your enemies with no one to save them. Your sons and your daughters are given to another people, and your eyes look and fail for them all day long, and your hand is powerless. I think you get the point. Deuteronomy 28. And it shall be, if you diligently obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to guard to do all his commands, which I command you today, that Yahweh your Elohim shall set you high above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, if you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. Don't ask me what you should do. The Father already told you, and he made it perfectly clear with his word. The ramifications of disobedience and the blessings of obedience. You know what to do. It's just not comfy. And I'll tell you this, if you ever get comfortable with your relationship with the creator of the heavens and the earth, earmuffs, kids, you have royally fucked up. Okay. Ask me how I know. I don't use the F word often on camera, but I did tonight.
You make it count.
That's been a while. Not as much as my wife. It's a verb now, adjective. Stop kicking me.
Somebody said, so obviously it's all spiritual, but is any of it metaphorical? I am living proof that it is literal. I'm a biblical literalist. And it amazes me how many people who call themselves patriots in these United States of America who are constitutional literalists. That was divinely inspired but written by the hands of men. That is not the word of God. They are constitutional literalists. What does it say? It says, shall not be infringed. That's a literalist. Yet when it comes to their Bible, and they claim to be covered by the blood of Messiah, now all of a sudden they're willing to jump through hoops to find an interpretation that works with their particular form of whoring so that they don't have to be accountable to the Creator. Not me. I'm a biblical literalist. If we're going to take the Constitution of these United States of America that seriously, how much more so should we take the Word of God? And not only that, I live it. I am blessed to live it every day. We are all biblical literalists here. What does it say? That's what we're going to do. Even when it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't understand that. I don't get it. And then one day, a year later, you're like trimming a sheep's hoof and it's like, I get it now. Is Sasquatch drunk? I'm like, what's happening?
It's Melissa. I think it's bouncing.
What happened to Neo-Levite? Neo-Levite is a phrase that Stalwart Peacekeeper came up with, and I love it. The Levites, their job was to serve the Father in the tabernacle, the tent of appointment, and to guard the Torah and teach it, and to put the sword upon their thigh from time to time.
Since I'm not going to school tomorrow.
What? Stay up with who? For what?
Because I'm not going to school tomorrow.
But you're still getting up early.
No.
Yeah.
I thought you were hanging out at my house
Aren't you
tomorrow.
hanging out at
Yeah.
my house?
You are.
No.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Go lay down. You can watch a show in bed, but go lay down, okay? Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
I like her spunk though. Hey, if I'm not going to school tomorrow, you know.
Kid.
You combine her with Caroline, we're gonna have one hell of a law firm when we get older. Caroline needs to just go ahead and get her in law school now. We're gonna need her 20 years or so from now with everything else we have going on.
Teenage years, it's going to be a hell of a ride.
That's where we just get 4 or 5 more cabins and put them out there.
Oh yeah.
It's like, go to your cabin.
Yeah.
How old is Bear? Old enough to know better, young enough to not care. How's
I
that?
love that line.
Unclean hero. Praise the Father. Discovering just how far I fall short is almost depressing. Tommy, here's the thing with that, brother. Good night, brother. Son. Hey. I love you. See you in the morning. Set an alarm. For real. It is? You promise? And feed the beasts. Okay.
That light behind you spazzing out.
Is it?
It's been doing all
On the
night.
ground, it's like
It's Sasquatch, bro.
It's a solar light that.
Oh, the dryer, like randomly turned on, and I walked over there and I turned it back off.
The dryer is possessed too?
Yeah.
Whoa.
somebody probably put it on permanent press.
Did you rebuke it? Did you knife hand it?
No, I just turned it off.
Walk over to the dryer and do this. Go, knock it off. Go ahead. I can hear you from here. Go on.
Somebody asked, I thought this was a really good question. Can you trust the literal translation since it's been washed down through man? And I think that's one reason the scriptures is so cool because they did it. They went back.
Yeah, so that's the cool thing with the scriptures. There's a translation called the scriptures, and it's my EDC Bible. And what they did, the translators for that translation, they went back to the original source texts as far back as they could go, and they compared hundreds of thousands of fragments and documents to come up with a literal translation of what the original source text said in Hebrew and Aramaic and Greek, with no political agenda, with no theological agenda, just what does it say? And that's why I use it. I also have 13 other translations because sometimes you just need to get a sometimes you just need a different opinion on what it might say. It's 2021, religion is dead. Well, first of all, I would say, Chad, kiss my ass.
What is 2021?
Second of all, I'm not religious. Religion is man-made doctrines and dogmas. And I'm not into that at all. I'm in no way religious. I'm deeply spiritual. What's up, Professor and Marianne? It's good to see you. What, baby?
Can I sleep out in the library?
No, you sleep in your bed and finish brushing your teeth. The ESV, I'm not a huge fan of. I have a copy of it. They water down a lot of things, in my opinion. How could the oldest we can find be the original? We saved what we could and been lost since. And so, Mr. America, there's a really good presentation. It's about 2.5 hours long that I watched from a Bible scholar called, what was it called? How Corrupt is, what was it? How Corrupt is the Bible? I think was the title of it. And he works... This Bible scholar works for an institute that collects and documents, photo documents, hundreds of thousands of scrolls and copies of the Torah and the New Testament and the prophets and the minor prophets, the Haftorah, as it's called, what you consider the Bible, all of these things. And they have compared, I believe it was 300,000 different complete or fragmented copies of these different books of the Bible. And what they found, looking at it just pure data, what differences are there? There is a 99.8%, it might have been Michael Heiser. There's a 99.8% congruency between all known books of the Bible, all of them on the face of the earth, 99.8%. And then the question was raised, well, what about the other 0.2%? Well, when you compare the differences in the 0.2%, they're grammatical differences. Somebody put a period here, somebody put a comma there, they didn't put anything here. There's tagging, jots and tittles above this letter in this Hebrew scroll where there isn't over here. And they're grammatical differences. And when they looked at that, they were able to come down to, I believe it's 0.002% difference amongst all these scrolls. And those differences that they found, they then asked the question, do these differences in any way degrade our foundational doctrines of our faith? That Yeshua is Mashiach, that Jesus is the Christ, the gospel stories, the stories of Moshe, of Moses, the prophets, any of these? And the answer is no. They are in no way critical to the story. It may be here they said instead of an, or in this they said they instead of the or them, things of that nature. Yes, it was on YouTube. I do not remember what it was called off the top of my head, though. But the point is, a guy whose job it is for the last 40-ish years to study the Word and photo document all these things, plugged all this data into a computer, and they did the research. And the long and short is, in my opinion, by the divine hand of Yah, what we have today is incredibly similar to what they had many, many years ago. There's also far more copies, especially of the Old Testament, than one would think. For example, kings of Israel were required to write their own copy of the Torah. There were also many what they call prophet schools where they made their own copies of the Torah. The Christian monks for millennia have been hand copying. Nebuchadnezzar took 70 Yehudim, 70 Jews, and he asked individually over the course of 2 years, each one did not know the other 69 existed. He said, write me a copy of your Torah in Babylonian. Take it from Hebrew to Babylonian. Write me a copy. And so for 2 years, 70 different men labored on this project, completely unaware that the other 69 existed. And at the end of 2 years, Nebuchadnezzar took all 70 copies and they compared them, and there wasn't a single difference. There was not a single difference between 70 different men transposing the Torah from Hebrew to Babylonian.
There's somebody bigger in charge.
Because there's somebody bigger in charge. And lastly, what I would say to that is Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret matters belong to Elohim, but to us and our children forever to do this Torah. We have what we need to do. We have what we need in order to do what we need to do. Everything else, it's okay if we don't understand it. I don't want to serve a God that I can fully understand. And I know that doesn't make sense, but if I can wrap my mind around the Creator, who's the God in this picture? Me or him? See my point? So, and again, this is not me telling you what you need to do. This is me telling you what I believe and why I believe it. The other thing I'll tell you, for those that are maybe unfamiliar or less familiar with the faith aspect of this channel, although I don't understand how you would be because I put out more Bible videos each week than prepper videos, but whatever. It's maybe important for you to understand, I was born and raised in the Christian church. I ran away from home at the age of 15 And I played drums in satanic metal bands. Shalom, J.J. Johnson. I played drums in satanic metal bands for a decade. I was in a state of apostasy. I was at war with the Father. And every entity or ism that exists, all the Eastern religions, all the Abrahamic religions, all the, Stoicism, everything, all of that, I've researched it. I'm a voracious reader. I read books like it's my job. And I have researched all of the world's religions that I know of. And I'm constantly finding new ones. And I like to know what their core tenets are. I like to know what their beliefs are. I like to know what they're founded on. I've done all of that. I've done all that research. I've ended up back here. That the Father is real, His Son is real, and His Word is true. And people make mistakes. God doesn't. And we put too much power in the people of God when we should give all the power and glory to the Father. So it's not blind faith that I have. I've got as far away from the Father that I knew how to get. And yet and still, He pursued me. I thought I was fighting a war with Him. He was fighting a war to win me back. And I'm humbled by that. Do you think that Yah has a conviction Himself, or that the Father guiding us is His conviction? So, a facet of the Father is the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. And John chapter 16 makes it perfectly clear what the Holy Spirit's job is. And that is to convict us concerning sin, concerning righteousness, and concerning judgment. We know 1 John 3 verse 4, sin is lawlessness. We know that righteousness, Luke 1 verse 6, is blamelessly walking in the commands of Yah. And the judgment, Revelation 19 verse 11, is what we all will earn at the end of an age if we do not get on board with the commands of Mashiach, of Messiah, and of Father Yah. And so, to the extent that Yah has a conviction, it's the manifestation of the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, the helper, that the comforter, he's also referred to in the Gospel of John, that convicts us to walk in the Father's ways and be obedient to His commands and to follow Messiah. And that's what Christian means. It comes from Christios, which was a Greek derogatory term, which means follower of Messiah. That's what we're supposed to do. Bear, have you read anything by Tim Hegg? I have not that I know of. I've been nation sustain, improve. What do we do when we get to heaven? Biblical answer to that is we serve the Father and we worship Him. That's what we do. We've not spoken tongues yet, we are still saved. Curious, absolutely. If we have not spoken in tongues yet, are we still saved? Absolutely. So that comes out of the charismatic movement, Assembly of God, Pentecostals, Seventh-day Adventists a little bit, but predominantly the Pentecostals, and otherwise what's known as the charismatic movement, saying that you only have the Holy Spirit, the only proof of the Holy Spirit is speaking in tongues. That's dead-ass wrong.
Only one of the gifts.
It's not biblical, and let me explain to you why it's wrong. First of all, there are multiple gifts of the Spirit, and speaking in tongues is only one of them. Prophesying is another, and Shaul of Tarsus, the Apostle Paul, makes it quite clear that if one is given to prophecy and one is giving in tongues, if there's nobody who can interpret the one who is given to speaking in tongues, have that person be quiet so the one who is given to prophecy may speak. Tongues is a gift, not a requirement. That's exactly right, Dragon Shield. Additionally, where the charismatic movement gets this from is Acts chapter 2, when the Holy Spirit descends on the assembly, who, by the way, were in one place of one accord, celebrating the festival of Shavuot, first fruits, the Feast of Weeks, after Yeshua was raised from the dead, when allegedly all that Old Testament stuff was done away with. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. And they're all together in one place of one accord, celebrating the Feast of First Fruits, and the Spirit descends on them like a flame of fire, tongues of fire, the whole nine, and they start speaking in tongues. But if you read that passage, which I would encourage you to do, like every other single line in the Bible, you should read it with your own eyes and pray for understanding. They're speaking their language, but the people who are hearing them in their native tongue. It's as if I speak English, but Sister Renee speaks Ethiopian. And I'm sharing the gospel, I'm prophesying in English, but she hears me speaking in Ethiopian. She hears me speaking in her tongue.
It says heard in their own language.
Yes.
Not spoke.
They each one heard in their own language. So speaking in tongues is not babbling. It's not blah, 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 speaking the language of angels. By the way, the language of angels is Hebrew. Read your friggin' Bible. But I digress.
People also mistake speaking in tongues with having a prayer language.
Yep.
Which is a different verse, and it's Hebrew.
Yes. And so speaking in tongues is a proof of the Spirit. It is not the only proof of the Spirit. And biblically speaking, speaking in tongues is you speak your language and the person who is hearing you hears you in their native language. It is not babbling. And the charismatic church has latched onto this and made it an abomination from what it is biblically. Like, unfortunately, practically every other denomination has taken one verse or one part of a verse and twisted it out of context and then made it doctrine. Yes, and the gift of interpretation accompanies. That's exactly right. There needs to be somebody else who is given to interpreting tongues.
Well, and it even says, if there's nobody there to translate, you are to stop speaking.
That's exactly right, because now you're taking away from the one who can prophesy. So, yeah, Rockstar, that's exactly right. Yeshua spoke to the masses, no PA system, and they all understood, spoke for hours and never lost his voice. It's getting late. Interesting times we're in. When Jesus says he is the son of Adam, could he mean the literal son of Adam reincarnated Seth? What he means is he is of the bloodline of Adam, which was the unpolluted bloodline, which he's not the reincarnation of Seth. He's the bloodline that passes from Adam to Seth to Enoch to Noah to Shem to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, so forth and so on. Yeshua comes from the house of David, which is Judah. So it's that clean bloodline. We've been going over this every week in the Torah portions on Men's Group Monday. What's up, Bear Metal?
Devin just finished level 1 and 2.
Bear, I'm brand new to this channel. Are you Jewish, Christian? Is there a denomination of Jews that believe in the New Testament? Mark, I'm neither Jewish nor Christian. I am, I believe the whole Bible. I'm a whole Bible believer. I don't like Christianity because they deny the Old Testament. I don't like Judaism because they deny the New Testament. I believe every single word of the Bible is true, all of it. Can anyone join the Men's Group? If you're on Patreon, you have access to Men's Group. And we do that behind the paywall at Patreon, not because I want your $5 to talk about the Bible, because I think all the other content there more than justifies the price tag. It's just the cost of admission that keeps the riffraff out of the conversation. Thank you, Gray Mouse. Look at Bear getting all scientific. I don't know what you mean by that.
Don't get him started. Ladies also, yes, there's a women's group on Patreon too.
So that's a great question, Board American. If you take the Bible literally, do you think the earth is flat? Let me answer that honestly. I was challenged by a statement that Rob Skiba made, who unfortunately has passed. But he basically said, if you believe the Bible literally, then inscribe the circle of the earth, as it says in Isaiah, and the foundations of the earth, and the still flat earth. And I'm like, I got to be honest with you. I have done next to no research on this, and most of the flat earthers I've talked to are just downright effing crazy. And for me, it is not a matter of salvation. To be honest with you, I've never ever lost sleep on whether or not the earth is a sphere or if it's flat. I think my understanding of physics leads me to believe the earth is a sphere, and that we are in a heliocentric solar system within a universe. But I'm willing to be wrong about that. So
It doesn't change my faith in how
it doesn't change my faith at all, not one way or the other. And I don't have, I wouldn't even say I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I don't care. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up, I'm going to drink coffee, and I'm going to do what I do. And I'm going to, what is tomorrow? Friday? I'm going to do a brief at some point, and I've got consult calls to do. And then the sun's going to go down, and I'm going to usher in the Sabbath. And it will make no difference to me whatsoever whether the earth is flat and still or spherical and hurtling through space at 18.5 miles per second. I don't know. I don't know. So.
You know why when the whole flat earthers came out, the same time frisbee golf came out?
So,
There's a correlation
I just
there.
got a message from Twitch that said he thinks Devin had a lot of fun at level 3 today, and I just saw Devin on there.
Oh yeah, Devin's on here. Devin, did you have a lot of fun at level 3 today? Maters and taters grow well in the earth, flat or on a curve. That's exactly right. Do you keep kosher? Well, that's an interesting question. Kosher specifically, no. Because kosher means that as the stuff rolled off of the assembly line, Rabbi Chaim ben Shmuel blessed it. I keep Leviticus 11. And so if something is kosher, then I'm happy to eat it because it means it complies with the Leviticus 11. But it doesn't necessarily need to be blessed by a rabbi in order for me to eat it. For example, I eat my sheep and my goats and my cows all the time, and no rabbi has ever blessed them. So there you go. Oblate spheroid, great word. I've seen the photos. The most efficient shape in the universe. Thank you, NASA, for spending our tax dollars to find out that the shape of an M&M is the most efficient shape in the universe. Ask a sniper if the world is flat. Nope, yeah, Coriolis effect. And what happened to the tribe of Dan? They were bad listeners.
I like that. Ask a sniper if the world is flat.
Yeah, tread on this. This is a great question.
Is Hanukkah in the Bible? Yes, it is.
Hanukkah, well,
It's not a feast, but
it's in there, and it's also predominantly in what's called the intertestament period, first and second Maccabees. Barry, what is your favorite cigar? There we go. Let's bring it back around.
Bayonets.
Bayonets. What striker-fired polymer-framed 9mm pistol should I buy?
If the earth was flat, pushed everything off the edge by now.
If I could only smoke one cigar for the rest of my life, it would either be an Ave Maria Divinia or a Man of War Ruination. One or the other.
Rex knows.
Do you light Hanukkah candles? No, I do not. Made by the Man of War. That's right. The loudest band ever in metal. Yes. Update on the food truck? Not there yet. I like Gurkhas. I like Gurkhas a lot too. ATS. It's coming, Justin. It's coming. We're just about ready to release the
Yeah,
details. Give us a week or two.
I'm hoping by the end of this.
Finalizing the details.
How many cigar questions do you think you've answered? 1,000.
We even talk about having a board.
Yeah, I know.
behind your head.
Did Jesus celebrate Hanukkah? I have no idea if he did or didn't. I do know from reading the Gospels that he celebrated Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, and that he celebrated Pesach, Passover, and that we know that his followers, again in Acts chapter 2, celebrated Shavuot. So, thanks, Rose. First time here and I'm cracking up from the first word. I guess that's a good thing since you gave me $5. So, what are your favorite sheets to sleep on? Whichever sheets my wife puts on the bed. I don't
Clean
care.
ones.
Clean one.
I don't even whatever. I don't care.
When the kids get in there and they put the dirt on there from their feet. Oh, it's,
I don't allow my kids to get in my bed. Like, not anymore.
yeah, you're not in a 500
It's a-
square foot cabin.
That's true. But even it's a sacred space, man. Like, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but even like, because our room is, in a different part of the house than the kids' rooms. When they come into our room, I'm like, why are you here? What do you need? What are you doing? Go away. And it's not that I don't love them. It's just like, I've made this very clear to my kids. If me and mom aren't strong, there's no way that me and them are going to be strong. Like, it's me and mom first. It's me and Yah first. And then me and mom. And then me, mom, and the kids.
And that's why we go to hotels.
And that's why y'all go to hotels.
square feet.
That's exactly right.
Our kids don't get to go to hotels.
What do you use on your beard instead of sweat when it's cold out? More sweat. Did you not see Coffee Time with Bear this morning? I was sweating this morning rucking back there because I had this fleece on because it was a little chilly when I left, and by the time I got
You
back
were
there, it was like it was 50 degrees by the time I got
Yeah.
back there. I mean, 50 degrees early in the morning is still,
Yeah.
wearing this fleece and carrying a
It's gonna be
55
60 by
pound
the
ruck.
morning.
Right?
It's cold now. It's
Shorts.
gonna be 60 by the
I know.
morning. I hate that.
I wore shorts this morning to my chest test.
A
What was that?
few more minutes, guys. A few more minutes. Gosh, hold on. I thought we'd been on for an hour and a half. We've been on for
No.
2.5 hours. Bear, AR or AK? Why
Do you still
choose?
remember the promo code
You've
for
got two
Adventure
arms.
Frontier? Isn't it Bear Nation?
I think, yeah,
Frontier?
Adventure Frontier, I think, is Bear Nation.
If not, email me and I'll find it out.
Any single Bible believer brothers?
Was
Yes,
that?
Sophia, a couple of them. Admin at Bear
Sophia,
Independent.
do we have a list for you?
Send your testimony and some headshots. And I'm not kidding.
We have a list of guys. That are
Yes, we do.
Admin at
Liberty Off-Road, bless you. I'm very single, Mr. Tibbs. But you don't live in a hammock in my backyard, so...
admin at Refuge Training.
Bear, do you plan on making the Branson trip an annual vacation? Potentially. We really enjoyed it there, and it's not terribly far from us. Hey, Bear, I'm stuck on a few things in Scripture. I wish I could drop them now, but right away, Luke 17, 35, 36. Luke 17, 35, 36. My Bible's in the house. Luke
Where do you get your
17,
blue danglies?
grindstoneministries.com.
Ellie's little fingers breaking off. She's making so many lately.
Oh, so you're talking about when Yeshua returns, right? The whole 2 women, one shall be taken and one won't be. This is the same parable as the 10 virgins. 5 of them have lamps that have oil in them, and 5 of them don't. And I would encourage you to read Proverbs because it all goes right back to that. Proverbs 6. Your Torah is a lamp and a light unto my feet, and the oil is the oil of anointing. So there's 2 women, right? Or 10 women, half and half, which would be 5 of 10 is 1 of 2, right? Half of these women, the brides of Christ, think that they're the brides of Christ. Half of them are the brides of Christ. And again, the parable of the 10 virgins. Half of them have no oil for their lamps. The oil is the anointing. The lamp is the Torah. Proverbs chapter 6. It's all right there in the Bible. The doctrine of inerrancy, enacted in 1977. Let the Bible interpret the Bible. So there you go. So it's the same thing. And this is where Yeshua in Matthew 7:21 says that, many shall come to me in that day and say, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in your name and cast out demons in your name and done many mighty works in your name? And I will say to them, depart from me, you who work lawlessness, for I never knew you. There's lots of people who think they're the bride of Christ and who aren't. And we could get into that deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'll say this. If you know better and you're not doing it, you're held accountable for that. If you don't know better, then you're not. But that's an entirely different conversation. Can you kill a chicken with a slingshot and a freeze-dried Skittle? You know it. But if we're using 22s, my wife's better at it. Yes, I have read Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. In fact, I have it in PDF on my computer that's in front of me right now. Shabba-dabba-doo.
Biblical Christianity does reject the Old Testament and stuff when they have Christmas. Thoughts on Joel Osteen? Well, it's time to go.
Good night, Honky. I don't really feel like going to war with the internet right now. I'll tell you this. Most, hey, Bear, what do you think about this verse videos? Or what do you think about this verse questions can be answered by going to the YouTube search bar and putting in Bear Independent Luke 17 or Bear Independent whatever. Tread on this, yes, I do. It's prophesied. And they shall deliver you up and kill you and think that they're doing a service to Elohim. Yes.
Somebody said like they're coming back to the faith. Where do they start? And I was like, in Genesis.
Yeah. Do you believe once saved, always saved? Absolutely not. That's not biblical. That flies in the face of Hebrews 10, verse 26. Go read that. In fact, you pay a higher price if you have acknowledged Yeshua as Messiah and then go and act lawlessly than if you didn't know in the first place. My dog is fixing to kill something.
He is. I heard him go.
You hear him?
Like he went after something.
Yeah, he had a snarl in there.
He did.
Yep. Bear, can you please speak on your interpretation of Azazel and the two goats in Leviticus? Yep. Read the book of Enoch. Azazel was one of the fallen angels. Azazel taught the men of the earth how to make war and the women of the earth how to beautify themselves as whores. These were the watchers in Genesis 6 who copulated with the daughters of men. Their offspring were giants, which are referred to in the Bible as Nephilim, but there were actually three generations of giants. The great giants, which were 150 cubits tall, the Nephilim, which were 20 to 30 cubits tall, and then the Eliud, which were their offspring, which were 10-ish cubits tall or 15 foot tall. And the great giants attacked and ate the Nephilim. The Nephilim attacked and ate the Eliud, and the Eliud attacked and ate men. The flesh and blood of men. And this is where you get the beginning of the polluted bloodlines of the earth, which is why the Father mikvahs or baptizes the entire planet. Everybody save Noah and his three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their three wives. for a total of 8 people. And Azazel is bound in a place called Dundiel, which is in the desert, the wasteland, and the ascribing sin, which is transgression of the law, biblical interpretation, New Testament, 1 John 3, verse 4. Ascribing sin to Azazel with the goat is done as a matter of representation to pass that bad stuff on to Azazel, where the wholesale sinfulness of man was ascribed to the poor instruction on behalf of these watchers. And you can read in the book of Jubilees, which is non-canonical, it's in the Apocrypha, talks greatly about the watchers and the effect that they had on the earth. And in fact, Jubilees says that the angels were sent to teach men, but they whored with the daughters of men. And actually in the book of Jude, which is there's a direct quote from the book of Enoch in the book of Jude. It talks about how if the angels of heavens couldn't keep to their stations and transgress their Torah, how much more so you, and the death that you earn by transgressing yours. So, yeah, the scapegoat. This is where we get the concept of the scapegoat from. We put our sins on that goat and send it out into the devil. So, and it's also important to look at this here as well, that if you look at the sin offering versus the peace offering and the Thanksgiving offering, there's actually 3 goats. 1/3 is given to sin. You look at the 6 trumpets war, 1/3 of mankind is destroyed in that war. You look at 1/3 of the angels fell. 1/3. Ham, Noah's son, was a piece of garbage, but Shem and Japheth weren't. You look at the sons of Adam, Cain and Abel, right? Cain killed his brother, but you get Abel, and then Abel was good to go, and then Seth, right? That 1/3 is a recurring theme throughout the word as well. Well, what a great conversation about preparedness we had tonight. Whatever. Do you believe John Glubb's Fate of Empires? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Which one of the 12 tribes do you think you're descended from? I have no idea. But the
What username is you're not?
the dispersion is referred to as Ephraim, the diaspora, the lost 10 tribes. And so, in spirit anyway, that's us. We are Ephraim or Ephraim. Is a good prep, I agree. Is Bigfoot there?
Sounds like it.
Maybe.
Usually he doesn't bark when he's gonna kill something.
No.
He sneaks up and he takes him out. But he just got quiet, so.
Yeah.
He gave him a lot of warning.
El Monster, you're correct. I'm going to hit the hay too. It's preparedness though. Logan Matthias, bless you, brother. How many times have you read the Bible? I'm on read through number 7 right now. Tent or hammock? I think tent for most people. Hammock if you're hardcore. I'm out. Bless y'all. Thanks for hanging out for 2 hours and 40 minutes. We'll see y'all soon. Shalom.